court for the judge, honorable judge. And I think the stand of Aam Aadmi Party and 2 crore people of Delhi has been vindicated from day one. We have been saying that where is the evidence? Where is the proof? What is the wrongdoing? Where is the corruption? However, none of the, the spokespersons of BJP or their ministers or their leaders could explain that this is a corruption which has happened. There was no corruption. And when the modus operandi is that you register any fraudulent, fake, frivolous case through CBI or ACB, then you invoke PMLA and register a similar case in ED. And when you do, arrest under PMLA, you can't get a bail before 1 year or 2 years. So you are just lying in the jail without any trial. This is a modus operandi which this central government has practiced. They have, mastered this art. Under PMLA, they don't start the trial. They don't let the trial start until there is no trial. So you cannot prove yourself innocent. So you are in the jail. So the landmark judgments have happened in the case of Mr. Kejriwal.
Saurabh, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, I can hear you.
Saurabh, Ankit Tyagi this side. First of all, congratulations to your party. This has been something that was a big setback when it happened. Of course, you've been saying that it is political vendetta. How big is personally for Mr. Kejriwal and for you, for your party? Because this was one of the things that, in fact, ensured that you are out of the power in Delhi. Saurabh, can you hear me?
All right, we seem to have lost that line with Saurabh Bhardwaj. Ankit, if I may come to you, this is obviously a huge win for Aam Aadmi Party. They had been time and again saying that this was politically, motivated and this is clear vendetta. And we are just seeing Arvind Kejriwal also breaking down in front of the cameras. But CBI here has a lot of, answering to do as far as this entire case is concerned, because the court slammed the CBI over the way it handled this case.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a big setback for the CBI and the Enforcement Directorate, and a huge shot in arm for the Aam Aadmi Party. Arvind Kejriwal and, Manish Sisodia, there was Vijay Nair, all the top leaders of the Aam Aadmi Party were in fact indicted in this case. Remember, the trial had not started, and today was the framing of the charges which was supposed to take place at the special CBI court at Rouse Avenue, where the court has not only discharged Arvind Kejriwal and 23 others, but has come out with some very stern message for the CBI as a prosecuting agency. It said that there is zero conspiracy that you have been able to, in fact, establish. It also went on to, against the CBIs and said that, there is nothing that you've been able to establish as far as your allegations is concerned. Now, remember, just before the Delhi elections, when Arvind Kejriwal, before the 2024 Lok Sabha election, Arvind Kejriwal was behind bars. Just before the campaigning for the Delhi elections for Lok Sabha was about to, in fact, begin, Arvind Kejriwal was given bail. He spent, a few months in jail. Manish Sisodia in the same case spent about 2 years. And even after the Lok Sabha elections, when the Aam Aadmi Party was fighting the Delhi Assembly election, this became a major issue that was being spoken against the Aam Aadmi Party. The whole, the anti-corruption movement of this party was, in fact, hampered by this. The whole image, the Kattar Imandar thing that Arvind Kejriwal said today and broke down, this was something that, saw a setback, and it did politically cost a lot to the Aam Aadmi Party. So they are going to the town now and will, of course, once again use this as an example of how agencies are being misused, allegedly, by the BJP government at the centre.
Absolutely, Ankit. Stay on with us. We also have Ishika and Anushka joining us. Ishika, you've also been covering Aam Aadmi Party. This is obviously a relief for the leaders there, and we spoke to...
सर आप अपना आपको माइक पीछे माइक थोड़ा पीछे हो जाए थोड़ा माइक डाउन करो सबके फ्रेम में आ जाएगा धक्का मत दो भाई हो गए
पिछले कुछ सालों से भारतीय जनता पार्टी जिस तरह से शराब घोटाला कर रही थी और हमारे ऊपर आरोप लगा रही थी, आज कोर्ट ने सारे आरोप खारिज कर दिए और जितने भी एक्यूज्ड थे सबको डिस्चार्ज कर दिया। हम हमेशा कहते थे सत्य की जीत होती है, हमें भारतीय न्याय प्रणाली पे भरोसा है।
मुंह पे जा रहे सर के माइक नीचे।
मैं जज साहब का बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया अदा करता हूं जिन्होंने हमारे साथ न्याय किया, सत्य की जीत हुई। मैं हमेशा कहता था कि भगवान
Arvind Kejriwal, their emotional breaking down in front of the cameras. This is a victory and a relief as far as Aam Aadmi Party is concerned. Both the leaders discharged from the case. Framing of charges was set to take place today, but as a result of lack of evidence, they have been discharged by the Rouse Avenue Court. We're joined by Ishika as well as Anushka. Ishika, to you, you've been covering Aam Aadmi Party as well. There are tons of reactions coming in. It will be interesting to see what the next step for the party is going to be, because it was this case that effectively took them out of power, and a lot was spoken, a lot was debated. Tell us what the plan of action for Aam Aadmi Party is going to be. How are they planning to perhaps hold CBI and the ED hold accountable?
Well, Radhika, as you rightly mentioned, today certainly is a big win day for Arvind Kejriwal and Manish Sisodia both, because it is the Rouse Avenue Court that has in fact discharged, court has discharges against, if we talk about Arvind Kejriwal, Manish Sisodia and many others in this excise policy case, especially in the CBI case. And not just that, today in fact the court has also come down heavily on CBI over this entire matter, also going on to in fact emphasize that there was no criminal intent in this excise policy. So this is in fact a big statement that has come from the court here, and it is a big relief which we can already see on the face of the Aam Aadmi Party leaders today, because excise policy, Radhika, if you remember the entire Delhi elections that we were talking about, most of it in fact was fought on excise policy, and the grave allegations that were there against Arvind Kejriwal, Manish Sisodia and many top leaders of the Aam Aadmi Party. How in fact Arvind Kejriwal in fact was also taken to jail. All of that became the highlight of the Delhi Assembly elections, and the Aam Aadmi Party lost in that. So now today certainly you can see the enthusiasm of the Aam Aadmi Party leaders back, because they consider it not just a big win for Arvind Kejriwal and Manish Sisodia, but also for the entire party. If we talk about what the court has talked so far, well, the court has slammed the CBI's conduct here, going on to say that the court has been asking for confession from day one, but it wasn't provided with the charge sheet. They've also asked for the star witnesses, and also a very interesting comment that came from the court today was that the special judge Jitendra Singh, he said today in the court that sometimes when you read too many files, the file starts talking to you. So certainly the court also coming down heavily on CBI. So certainly it is now only going to boost the morale of the Aam Aadmi from now on, and also we will be seeing the impact of this in the coming Punjab elections. Over to you.
Right, Anushka, stay on with us. We also have, I beg your pardon, stay on with us, Ishika. We also have Anushka with us. Anushka, has there been any kind of reaction from the BJP yet? Because this certainly puts the centre, the BJP, in a very difficult position because, you know, there have been allegations time and again by the opposition parties, including the Aam Aadmi Party, that the central agencies, including the CBI, had been working under the behest of the centre.
Well, that's right, Divya. We are seeing that this is a big victory for the Aam Aadmi Party because we have seen that in this excise policy case, both Manish Sisodia and Arvind Kejriwal had faced a lot of flack before the elections were about to hit in Delhi NCR. We have seen both of them facing jail time because of the excise policy that was drafted here. And we have also seen now the court coming down heavily on the investigative agencies, saying that there was no substantial evidence that was found and there was no criminal intent as well that was established here in the excise policy that was in fact formed. What the CBI had claimed is that this policy was formed not just as a governance reform but also as a policy to give favors to private businesses, private liquor businesses to be very precise. Now today the court has in fact gone on to say that no material evidence was found against Manish Sisodia. Also allegations levelled by the CBI lacked every bit of substance, and also no criminal conspiracy could be established in this case, and that the prosecution failed to prove its case. So big setback for the investigative agencies here. What the CBI had claimed here is that the policy was tweaked to favor certain businesses, and also that there was favorable kickbacks that the government was in fact receiving to in fact give favor to the private liquor businesses. Also, it was said that a cartel formation was in fact being made in Delhi. CBI had said that some liquor distributors.
Anushka, stay on with us. We also have Bhagwant Mann, Punjab Chief Minister, with us. Mr. Mann, this is certainly a big relief for Aam Aadmi Party. Your first reaction on the Rouse Avenue court discharging both the top leaders of Aam Aadmi Party?
देखिए, हमारी पार्टी की तरफ से हम यही कहते रहे कि ये सब एक पॉलिटिकल केस है, ये इसका बेस कोई नहीं है। सिर्फ अरविंद केजरीवाल को, आम आदमी पार्टी को जो है खत्म करना है। ये पार्टी कहां से आ गई? हम दोनों का अच्छा काम चल रहा था, लेकिन बीच में से तीसरा कौन आ गया जो हमारी बारी ले गया, जो लोगों को सच बताने लगा है अचानक से कि ऐसे गवर्नमेंट चलती है, ऐसे स्कूलों का काम, ऐसे बिजली का काम, ऐसे इंफ्रा का काम हो सकता है। और गवर्नमेंट का रेवेन्यू का, दिल्ली का बजट 30,000 करोड़ से 66,000 करोड़ कैसे हो सकता है? और सब सारी फैसिलिटियां फ्री भी दे सकते हैं, और आम लोगों को वो चीजें कैसे मिल सकती हैं? तो इनको ये बहुत बड़ी चिंता हुई कि इसको तो एक ही तरीका है कि इन पे झूठे केस डाल के इनको अंदर कर दो। हमारे टॉप के 5 नेताओं को अंदर कर दिया गया ताकि आम आदमी पार्टी डिसीजन मेकिंग, सारी हमारी टीम जो है वो अंदर कर दी, जेल में डाल दी। लेकिन हमें पता था कि कोई भगवान हमारे साथ है, और आज उसका फैसला आया तो हम लोगों की दुआओं का भी बहुत असर होता है। लोगों की दुआएं, लोगों ने जिन लोगों ने दुआएं की और जिन्होंने हमारे लिए मन्नतें मांगी, उनका भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, शुक्रिया करते हैं। और अरविंद केजरीवाल साहब, मनीष सिसोदिया, संजय सिंह और विजय नायर, जितने भी हमारे नेताओं को बरी किया गया है, उनको भी बहुत बहुत बधाई। और इससे ये साबित हो गया कि देश में जो हम कहते थे कि हम ईमानदार हैं, हमारी नीयत में कोई खोट नहीं है। हो सकता है हम पॉलिटिकली हम ना तजर्बेकार हो, हमारे पास एक्सपीरियंस कम हो, लेकिन ईमानदारी के एक्सपीरियंस में हम कभी नहीं जाएंगे। तो आज ये सत्य की जीत हुई है, सत्य की जीत हुई है, उसके लिए मैं बधाई देना चाहता हूँ।
Mr. Mann, what is it that you will be demanding now that the court was quite harsh on the central agency? Will Aam Aadmi Party now demand some sort of accountability from the agencies involved?
इसमें ये सीबीआई को कोर्ट ने कौन सा पहली बार डांटा है? कोर्ट तो सीबीआई को सत्ताधारी जो फेडरल गवर्नमेंट का तोता बता चुकी है। ये उनका तोता है, चोरी खाता है, जो बुलवाना चाहते हैं बोलता है। कोई भी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल इंस्टीट्यूशन जो है वो फ्री रहने नहीं दिया। चुनाव आयोग देख लो, सीबीआई देख लो, है जी, ये ईडी देख लो, ये इस्तेमाल ही सिर्फ विरोधियों को खत्म करने के लिए हो रही है, जबकि ये बनी थी देश से भ्रष्टाचार खत्म करने के लिए। देश से करप्शन खत्म करने के लिए, जो गलत मलत काम करते हैं उनको रोकने के लिए। लेकिन ये बन गया है पॉलिटिकल हथियार, राजनीतिक हथियार बन गया सीबीआई। अब क्या जवाब देंगे? हर केस सीबीआई को दे दो, सीबीआई वाले उठा के एक बार ले जाएंगे, 4-5 महीने आपकी जमानत नहीं होगी, इन द मीन टाइम इलेक्शन हो जाएगी और तुम जीत जाओगे, चलो जी हो गया जी काम, उसके बाद बरी कर दोगे, हाँ जी गलती हो गई थी। तो क्या जवाब है? कई बंदों की 14 साल बाद उनको बरी किया गया है, उनके 14 साल कैसे वापस दोगे आप? जो 14 साल उसके बर्बाद कर दिए जिंदगी के, क्या रिवाइंड कर सकते हो उसकी लाइफ को? जो हमारे नेताओं को मेंटली तौर पे, जब फिजिकली तौर पे जो हर्ट किया है, क्या उसकी वापसी हो सकती है? किसी अकाउंटेबल बना दो, अकाउंटेबल रहने तो दें किसी को अकाउंटेबल। इस देश में कौन अकाउंटेबल है इस वक्त? प्रधानमंत्री जी अकाउंटेबल हैं? एप्स्टीन की फाइलों के बारे में कभी बोला उन्होंने? अकाउंटेबल हैं? हरदीप पुरी का नाम आ रहा है, अनिल अंबानी का नाम आ रहा है, कोई अकाउंटेबल है यहाँ पे?
सीएम साहब,
तो ये मजाक समझ रखा है, इन्होंने समझ रखा है कि सिर्फ हम ही हैं, हम हैं। अब तो जनता भी अपनी बना लो, SIR से जनता भी डिजिटल बना लो, हमें लोगों की भी जरूरत नहीं है, वोट भी हमारे हैं, हम कभी उसको हरियाणा में डलवा लेंगे, 4-5 दिन बाद डेट रखेंगे महाराष्ट्र की, उनको रेलगाड़ियों में भर के वहां ले जाएंगे, उसके बाद बिहार की डेट रखेंगे, रेलगाड़ियां भर के इधर। ऐसे वोट हम अपने वोट लेकर घूमते हैं, मजाक बना दिया लोकतंत्र का।
सीएम साहब, अंकित त्यागी बोल रहा हूं सर। सबसे पहले तो आपकी पार्टी के लिए बड़ा दिन है, बधाई हो आपको। अरविंद केजरीवाल अभी बात करते वक्त रो पड़े, उनके आंखों में आंसू आ गए। ये एक बड़ा मुद्दा था, आपकी पार्टी की जो एंटी करप्शन की एक इमेज थी उसको बड़ा झटका लगा था इससे। आपको लगता है कि वो जो सारे दाग लगे थे वो धुल गए हैं आज?
नहीं, देखो हमें तो पहले दिन से यकीन था त्यागी साहब कि ये झूठे केस हैं। हम लोग पैसे कमाने नहीं आए राजनीति में, पैसे कमाने होते तो हम लोग बहुत अच्छे प्रोफेशन छोड़कर आए हैं पैसे कमाने वाले। हम कोई करप्शन करने के लिए पार्टी थोड़ी बनाई थी हमने। मैं एक बहुत फेमस आर्टिस्ट था, मैं बॉलीवुड का कलाकार था। अरविंद केजरीवाल इनकम टैक्स के कमिश्नर थे, ज्वाइंट कमिश्नर थे, उनकी पत्नी ज्वाइंट कमिश्नर थी। मतलब इनकम टैक्स ऑफिस के लोग कहते हैं कि पीएन नहीं, वो भी बोरे भर के नोटों के लेके जाते हैं, ये तो ज्वाइंट कमिश्नर थे। मनीष सिसोदिया बड़े पत्रकार थे। तो हम लोग कोई ऐसा थोड़ी है कि कोई हम पैसे कमाने के लिए एक पार्टी बना ली। हम लोग यही कह रहे थे कि इनको राजनीति करने नहीं, राजनीति सिखाने आए हैं। लेकिन इन्होंने क्या किया, एक बार अंदर कर दो, ऐसा कौन सा हमारे साथ अकेले किया है? तो झारखंड के मुख्यमंत्री को अंदर कर दिया, कभी किसी को जेल में डाल दिया, जेल में डाल दो इलेक्शन के समय, उसके पहले उस पर लगाओ 70,000 करोड़ का इल्जाम, उसके बाद उसको डिप्टी सीएम बना लो, उसके बाद वो धुल दो वॉशिंग मशीन में, अपनी बीजेपी की वॉशिंग मशीन में से निकाल कर उसको जो है वो आप धो दो, उसको सारे दाग धुल जाएंगे। तो जो ये कर रहे हैं, भगवान हमारे साथ है, हम भगवान को, रब को, वाहिगुरु परमात्मा को मानने वाले लोग हैं। लेकिन आज जो हुआ है बहुत बड़ा दिन है भारत की राजनीति के इतिहास में कि एक पार्टी जो लोगों की राजनीति करती थी, जो स्कूलों की बात करती थी, जो जिसने दूसरी पार्टियों के मैनिफेस्टो में स्कूल, अस्पताल, दवाइयां, सड़कें, बिजली, ये लफ्ज डलवा दिए धर्म, नफरत और पोलराइजेशन को निकालकर, तो उनको आज एक बड़ी राहत मिली है। आज हमारा हौसला बढ़ा है, हम और भी हौसले से अब आगे काम करेंगे।
मुख्यमंत्री जी, जाने से पहले मैं एक सवाल आपसे और पूछना चाहूंगा।
एक शेर है, शाख से टूटकर गिर जाएंगे, शाख से टूटकर गिर जाएंगे, हम वो पत्ते नहीं, आंधियों को कह दो अपनी औकात में रहें।
सीएम साहब, जाने से पहले बस मैं एक सवाल आपसे और पूछना चाहूंगा, क्या आपकी पूर्व मुख्यमंत्री अरविंद केजरीवाल जी से बात हुई इस पर? पर्सनली भी उनके लिए एक बड़ा दिन है। और दूसरी बात ये कि सीबीआई कह रही है कि देखिए अभी ये सिर्फ ट्रायल कोर्ट की बात है, हम इसको हाई कोर्ट में चैलेंज करेंगे, हम पीछा नहीं छोड़ेंगे।
नहीं, वो करने दो, हम तो लेके जाएंगे, हम तो तैयार हैं, हम किसी भी मुसीबत का सामना करने के लिए तैयार हैं। जब आप किसी भी सिस्टम के खिलाफ बोलोगे, जब आप किसी भी सिस्टम को त्यागी साहब बदलने की बात करोगे, तो जो उस सिस्टम के बेनिफिशियरी हैं वो बाउंस बैक तो करेंगे, वो बिल्कुल टिक के नहीं बैठेंगे, वो बाउंस बैक करेंगे जो उस सिस्टम के बेनिफिशियरी हैं। हम देश के करप्ट सिस्टम को बदलना चाहते हैं, तो वो जो करप्ट सिस्टम का फायदा लेते हैं वो बाउंस बैक तो करेंगे। तो करने दो, हम भी जाएंगे कोर्ट, तो हमारे लिए भी उतना, कानून तो सेम है ना, बाबा साहब का लिखा हुआ संविधान तो सभी के लिए है ना। और मेरी बात हुई है और बहुत खुश भी हैं, इमोशनल भी हैं। अभी उनसे अच्छे तरीके से बोला भी नहीं जा रहा, क्योंकि एक बंदा जो कट्टर ईमानदार है उस पर आप इल्जाम लगाकर उसको जेल में डालकर बाद में जमानत, वकील, ये वो पेशियां आप उसको चक्कर में डाल दिया सिर्फ एक सत्ता लेने के लिए। तो सत्ता तो किसी और तरीके से भी ली जा सकती है, लोगों को दिल जीत कर भी सत्ता ली जाती है। हुकूमत वो करते हैं जिनका दिलों पर राज होता है, यूं कहने को तो मुर्गे के सर पे भी ताज होता है।
अब पंजाब का चुनाव है अगले साल, आपको लगता है इससे और ताकत मिलेगी आपको अपनी कैंपेन में?
पंजाब में हम पंजाब की बातें लेके जाएंगे ना, हम कोई कोर्ट के केसों से थोड़ी जीतना चाहते हैं। ये तो झूठा था और झूठ झूठ साबित हो गया, सत्य सत्य साबित हो गया। पंजाब में हमने जो मोहल्ला क्लिनिक, एजुकेशन, पंजाब में खेतों की बिजली, घर की बिजली, नहरी पानी, कितने काम जो गारंटियां हमने दी भी नहीं थी, 10 लाख की जीवन बीमा, मुफ्त इलाज की योजना, और जो गारंटियां हमने नहीं भी दी थी वो भी पूरी कर दी हमने। तो हम तो काम करने आए हैं, काम करेंगे, हम काम की राजनीति करते हैं। तो जो ये नफरत की, धर्म की राजनीति करते हैं, बाकी लोग ज्यादा सियाने हैं, पब्लिक है, सब जानती है।
भगवंत मान जी, पंजाब मुख्यमंत्री, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया सर, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर स्पीकिंग टू अस हियर ऑन एनडीटीवी।
थैंक यू त्यागी साहब, थैंक यू वेरी मच।
All right, thank you, Ankit, for joining us. We will, of course, keep tracking this developing story with all the reporters. But the latest that we have is that the CBI will appeal the Patiala House Court's decision before the High Court. But we have some reactions coming in from outside the court as well. Some of the lawyers have spoken. Listen in.
एक्साइज स्कैम में राउज एवेन्यू के स्पेशल कोर्ट ने सारे मुजरिमों को बरी कर दिया है, और ये बरी तब किया है जबकि सारे साक्ष्य, सारे एविडेंस, everything which they have to say, all statements have been seen, perused by the court, and after perusing everything, it is not a apprehension, it is not a suspicion, it is a court who has gone through everything, and after going through everything, every statement, every document, it has held that there is no charge which is made out against Mr. Kejriwal and the other accused person, which includes Mr. Manish Sisodia.
Tom Vadakan is joining us from the BJP. Mr. Vadakan, this is a huge setback for the CBI. Court said no evidence to substantiate these allegations. Charges leveled by CBI lack merit and observed no criminal conspiracy was established. How do you respond to this? Both the top leaders of the Aam Aadmi Party stand discharged today.
It is a reality that Kejriwal never signed any papers. So the issue is how well he has hidden the whole thing and misled the investigation. Rest assured, the CBI is going to further this case in the high judiciary. Be that may, the real question is ED. And that is where the ex-income tax officer will have to play his skills. And ED is not going to let him go because his main involvement was with funds, finances, which have vanished, and some of them have landed in his lavish mahal that he built. So let the investigation continue, because we are sure that he has a hand, and he not only has a hand.
Of the Aam Aadmi Party leaders that this entire case was politically motivated.
How can it be politically? Shown evidence of how he has been working in Delhi, and the whole thing about liquor and the liquor mafia reign in Delhi. And all that, it was visible in Delhi. So it is not as if he's innocent just because there's no evidence right now. But rest assured, the sword is still dangling. They will use this as a starting point to say that he's innocent and he should be restored. Restored where? Delhi or Punjab? That is the more likely situation, whether he will take over as the Chief Minister of Punjab. So this is a power-hungry gentleman who tries to evade the law by being a very smart cookie. I would use that word very strongly, and justice will catch up with him, whether it's with the ED or the CBI.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Vadakan, for joining us with your perspective on this. Justice will catch up with both the leaders is what Mr. Vadakan is saying, as far as this liquor policy case is concerned. Now, Delhi court has also recommended departmental inquiry against the CBI officers who are investigating this case. So this is another big development after Rouse Avenue court slamming the Central Bureau of Investigation. Now there is an order which states that the investigating officers of the CBI must be investigated, must be probed. That is going to be a serious setback for the agency and to an extent for the centre as well. Let's go back to Anushka on this. Anushka, Delhi High Court, I beg your pardon, Rouse Avenue Court recommending departmental inquiry against the investigating officers of the CBI. This is big.
Well, we are seeing that in this case, the CBI is saying that they are going to pursue this matter further. They have said that they will be challenging this Rouse Avenue Court order in front of the High Court, and they will be in fact flagging out what all details were in fact there in the excise policy case. Now, so far what we do know here is that the Rouse Avenue Court has gone on to say that there is no substantial evidence to in fact point out as to what a criminal conspiracy was in fact hatched to build this excise policy. But also we have seen the CBI at that time was in fact alleging that this whole policy was formed not as a governance reform, but to in fact give benefit to the private liquor players. We have seen that they had also alleged that in this whole case the South Cartel was also influencing the decision that was in fact being made here, and illegal kickbacks were in fact given to the South Cartel because of this. Now the CBI is in fact, we have seen that this was a very big flashback that had in fact taken place between the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party during the Delhi election. It was one of the main key agenda on which both the parties were in fact campaigning for and against the excise policy case that we had seen several of the protests that was in fact being led by the BJP so that they could target the Aam Aadmi Party. But now we are seeing that in this big development where the Rouse Avenue Court have said and has in fact also discharged 23 people along with Arvind Kejriwal and Manish Sisodia, stating that there are no substantial evidence against these people, and there is in fact also no evidence that suggests that a criminal conspiracy was in fact being hatched to make this excise policy case. But now we are seeing that the CBI has said that they are going to challenge this order at the High Court, and we are seeing that the Rouse Avenue Court has in fact also said that departmental inquiry should be done against the officers who are investigating this case. But yes, we are seeing a lot of updates and developments in the story where we are seeing the Aam Aadmi Party who has said that truth has once again stand as a victor in this case. But yes, we are also seeing the CBI who is going to pursue it further. They have said that they are going to challenge it in the High Court, the whole excise policy case where the charges were about to be framed today. But the Rouse Avenue Court had in fact said that all person, because of the lack of evidence and because the prosecution was unable to establish the criminal intent that was in fact being alleged by the CBI, that is why they have been given a clean chit. We have seen reactions coming in from the Aam Aadmi Party. We have seen BJP who has said that Arvind Kejriwal did not hold any power to in fact sign the signatures. That is why they had in fact evaded so far. But yes, we are seeing that more developments has been in fact coming in. What we are given to understand is that CBI is going to challenge this whole order in front of the High Court, and the Rouse Avenue Court has in fact also ordered a departmental level inquiry against the investigating officers who are looking after this case. Over to you.
All right, let's also go to Ishika on this. Ishika, as Anushka had been pointing out, CBI to challenge this decision. Even as that may happen, many of the CBI officials will be probed in a departmental inquiry. That is something Rouse Avenue Court has ordered. But Aam Aadmi Party clearly arguing that after years of investigation, arrest and court proceedings, the discharge really reinforcing their claim that this case lacked substantive proof of corruption. corruption, something that the court said today. For Aam Aadmi Party, this moment, obviously, it's not just legal relief, right, but also political validation.
Well, Radhika, as you very rightly mentioned, today certainly is a big day, we can say, for the entire Aam Aadmi Party, because it is the big two Aam Aadmi Party leaders who have got this big relief from Rouse Avenue Court. Because today the charges have been discharged, by the Rouse Avenue Court. This entire case was the liquor policy case. Because Radhika, even our viewers will remember that how big of an issue this was in the Delhi Assembly elections. There were grave allegations of corruption in this particular case, which became the highlight of the Delhi Assembly elections. And certainly that did cause, to a point, Aam Aadmi Party losing the Delhi election, and that is why the big relief that has come today, you can see on Arvind Kejriwal's face today, he in fact got emotional after talking to the media. So certainly the Aam Aadmi Party calling it that it was a political vendetta by the BJP all along is what they are saying today, and especially with the Rouse Avenue Court now coming down heavily on CBI, going on to emphasize that there was no criminal intent in this entire excise policy, certainly amps up the pressure on the CBI as well. And that is why, as my colleague was also pointing it out, that CBI will now be challenging this in the High Court. So that is in fact the move ahead in this particular case by the CBI forward for boosting the morale of their Karyakartas, and especially not just in Delhi, Radhika, but also in Punjab, because there the elections is going to come. So how big of an impact this particular win today for the Aam Aadmi Party will be in the Punjab election, that is also something that the time will tell. So certainly a big win, a big day for the Aam Aadmi Party. We are still awaiting, the response to come from the BJP leadership. But certainly, as we also heard Tom Vadakkar, they are saying that the case is not over. Let CBI first, go ahead in the High Court, and then we'll see what the High Court says in this particular matter. Over to you.
Right, remains to be seen what happens before the higher court now that the CBI has approached the higher court against this order of the Rouse Avenue Court. Let me go back to Anushka. Anushka, if you can also explain to us how this entire liquor policy case and the arrests post that really affect the morale of Aam Aadmi Party, because the impact on elections was severe. And if you can explain to us how party really lost its ground in the national capital, perhaps post 2023.
Well, that's right. As we are seeing that this excise policy had in fact taken place, the CBI had alleged that this whole excise policy was made not as a governance reform, but to in fact give favors to the private liquor businesses. Also, what the CBI had alleged that a loss to exchequer was in fact taken so that private businesses can thrive here, and it was being done so that they can in fact gain money illegally. In this case, the Aam Aadmi Party's tallest leader Arvind Kejriwal, along with Manish Sisodia and 23 other people, were in fact said that they were involved in this case. There were charges against 23 people along with Manish Sisodia and Arvind Kejriwal. Now in this case, what the CBI had said that not just in Delhi but also some South cartel were in fact involved here. They were trying to influence the policies as to give profit to some private businesses, and in exchange for that they were in fact giving money. Money was in fact being taken illegally so that the Aam Aadmi Party can in fact use it for the Goa elections. We have also seen the names of 23 people who were accused in this case, including Aam Aadmi Party's leaders Arvind Kejriwal, Manish Sisodia, Vijay Nair and other people who were in fact accused in this case. But now we have seen the Rouse Avenue Court coming down heavily on the investigating agencies CBI and ED, and had in fact also said that there is no substantial evidence that is there so that the criminal intent can be in fact seen in this case. While we have seen the CBI who is in fact saying that they will be challenging the Rouse Avenue Court's orders in the High Court. It is yet to see in fact what course of action this is going to take. But yes, we have seen that the kind of impact it had on the leaders of the Aam Aadmi Party. We do know the kind of visuals that had in fact been seen when Manish Sisodia was arrested, when Arvind Kejriwal was arrested, the first sitting Chief Minister of Delhi, who was in fact being taken to jail by the investigating agencies, and the case that was in fact at that time being built of the excise policy. But yes, now we are seeing Arvind Kejriwal, who has given an emotional message saying that truth, the victory of truth can clearly be seen here, and that this was a political vendetta by the BJP by using the investigating agencies like this. Now, the Rouse Avenue Court has recommended that a departmental level of inquiry should be done against the investigating officers who are looking after this particular case. But the CBI, what we are given to understand, is saying that they will be challenging this whole order in front of the High Court. Now, how that goes is something that we will have to wait and see. But yes, in this whole excise policy case, there were several claims and allegations that were made by the CBI and the ED. PMLA was in fact been invoked in this case. But yes, so far what we have seen is that the agencies had in fact claimed that in this case, criminal conspiracy was in fact being done, manipulation of policy was in fact being done, so that the private liquor businesses could in fact be given some favors. Also, it was alleged that the abuse of official position was in fact being done in this case. The probe was built around the claim that the policy was designed not just as a governance reform, but also to in fact as a part of planned scheme, because they wanted to give benefit to select liquor traders and generate illegal funds. The court has in fact also ruled out that no evidence of the conspiracy has been found so far. No criminal intent has been established, and prosecution has failed to prove any of the allegations that is made by the CBI and the ED in this case. Also, the case of alleged scam in Delhi's excise policy, we have seen the judge who has said that sometimes when you read too much and too many files, the file starts talking back to you. So now we have seen how the Rouse Avenue Court has in fact come down heavily on the investigative agencies. But yes, we are seeing that a major victory to the Aam Aadmi Party and the leaders of Aam Aadmi Party, Arvind Kejriwal, Manish Sisodia, how they have in fact addressed the media and has said that truth has finally come out, and that the excise policy was nothing but a governance reform that was in fact built so that it could give generate revenue for the funds. But now we are seeing that in this case, the Rouse Avenue Court has clearly discharged the Aam Aadmi Party leaders and 23 other people in this case, while the CBI still says that they will be in fact challenging this in front of the High Court. The Rouse Avenue Court has in fact said that the recommendation has in fact been given so that a departmental level inquiry should be in fact done against the investigators who were looking after this particular case. Over to you.
All right. Thank you, Anushka, for getting us those details. We also have Nupur with us. Nupur, if you can once again take us through what the court commented as far as the admissibility of key documents and witness statements are concerned. We believe court said that no confessional statement has been produced before the court, despite asking for it for quite some time. So prima facie, evidence was insufficient for framing of charges, which is why both the leaders were discharged.
Well, yes, of course, Radhika. This is in fact, remember, I just want to point out here that when this case had come to the Supreme Court for bail, the former Chief Justice Sanjeev Khanna, who had in fact granted bail to Arvind Kejriwal on one occasion, had in fact made this observation that when this case goes to trial, it will fall flat on the face. And this has actually happened because this is the exact argument he had made. He had questioned the CBI, and now the trial court has also raised this question that how can you make an accused an approver and then build entire case on his statements. So this is exactly what has today gone against the CBI in the lower court, while this has been pointed out by the Supreme Court previously also while hearing arguments on bail of Arvind Kejriwal. And this is in fact a very big relief for the Aam Aadmi Party leaders, because it is not only the relief that they have been discharged, but the way the court has discharged, the way the court has made observations, because this is not a regular kind of order from a trial court. This is in fact an extraordinary order where the CBI, which is the Central Investigation Agency, has been slammed by the court. It has been questioned. It has in fact, a departmental inquiry has been ordered against the CBI investigation officers behind this case, that how come they framed all this entire charge sheet and how come they relied on just approval statement. And in fact, the court has went on to call this entire case, that is the Delhi liquor policy case, which the CBI and the ED has been calling a larger conspiracy by the Aam Aadmi Party to siphon off public funds. Now the court has said that this is in fact a narrative. This seems like a narrative in absence of evidence. This seems like a narrative by the investigation.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you, Nupur, for getting us those details, and thank you to other reporters as well. At this point, CBI being held accountable by the lower court. What happens in the High Court remains to be seen. Those are the visuals of both Arvind Kejriwal and Manish Sisodia reunited with their family. With that, we'll slip in a short break. More updates on the other side.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's leading AI smartphone brand. Motorola Signature, India's #1 camera phone. Grab Motorola Signature today.
करियर से अर्ली रिटायरमेंट के लिए रेडी और अपने पैशन को करियर बनाने के लिए भी रेडी। पीएनबी मेटलाइफ रिटायरमेंट प्लान्स के साथ लॉक करें 10.2% गारंटीड एन्युटी रेट फॉर लाइफ, ताकि आप रहे ऑलवेज रेडी। पीएनबी मेटलाइफ, ऑलवेज रेडी फॉर लाइफ।
After the roaring success in Delhi, Hyderabad and Mumbai, the NDTV DP World PGTI Golf Pro-Am now travels to Ahmedabad. India's finest professionals, the city's most accomplished business leaders. Great golf, great company. NDTV DP World PGTI Golf Pro-Am. The course of champions, the conversation of leaders. 8th March, Kalhar Blues and Greens, Ahmedabad.
First India tour in your city. Rock on with Shankar Ehsan Loy and Siddharth Mahadevan and Shivam Mahadevan. 5 times melody, 5 times masti with NDTV Good Times. Go grab your tickets.
Straight from the heart of the newsroom to the core of the stories shaping your world. Join me, Gargi Raut, as I track all the developments as they break. Live from the NDTV newsroom, weekdays at 4 p.m.
Across the country, he has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Raj Kaul, covering international affairs like no one else, only on NDTV network.
करियर से अर्ली रिटायरमेंट हो या नए करियर की शुरुआत, रहो दोनों के लिए रेडी। पीएनबी मेटलाइफ रिटायरमेंट प्लान्स के साथ लॉक करें 10.2% गारंटीड एन्युटी रेट फॉर लाइफ। पीएनबी मेटलाइफ।
The images from the year's most talked about wedding lighting up social media. Newlyweds Rashmika Mandana and Vijay Devarkonda. look draped in love and tradition in their wedding pictures. Rashmika looks resplendent in a deep orange sari paired with intricate heavy gold jewellery. From layered necklaces to statement earrings and traditional bangles, every element reflects classic South Indian bridal elegance. In one striking frame, she holds a coconut, a symbol of prosperity and new beginnings, subtly marking the significance of the moment. Vijay complements her look in a traditional white dhoti, styled with a rich red dupatta draped across his torso. The ensemble channels a regal, almost imperial South Indian aesthetic, blending simplicity with ceremony. In another frame, Vijay is seen riding a horse, a nod to age-old wedding customs, adding dramatic cinematic touch to the celebrations. One candid moment captures the couple smiling during a wedding ritual, appearing to search for a ring hidden inside a silver antique vessel, a playful tradition symbolizing companionship and harmony. From vibrant pre-wedding festivities to a ceremony deeply rooted in Telugu and Kodava customs, the wedding reflects a seamless blend of modern celebration and heritage. A highlight from the series is an intimate close-up where Rashmika shares a light-hearted moment with Vijay, paired with a heartfelt Instagram caption expressing gratitude, companionship, and enduring love. Vijay's signature mustache adds character to his traditional look, completing a groom's ensemble that balances understated elegance with cultural pride. Together, the close-up images focus on emotion, nervous smiles, affectionate glances, and quiet exchanges, capturing the personal messages they shared for one another about partnership, respect, and shared journeys ahead. With the wedding celebrations now complete, the couple is expected to host a reception in Hyderabad. NDTV Bureau Report.
करियर से अर्ली रिटायरमेंट हो या नए करियर की शुरुआत, रहो दोनों के लिए रेडी। पीएनबी मेट लाइफ रिटायरमेंट प्लान्स के साथ लॉक करें 10.2% गारंटीड एन्युटी रेट फॉर लाइफ। पीएनबी मेट लाइफ, ऑलवेज रेडी फॉर लाइफ।
Alright team, our new order show is ready. Now we need a promo. Something cool, something sharp.
Well, I'm sure we'll be having outstanding reviews, solid suggestions,
Expert advice, the latest trends. It's a lot simpler. We'll help people make the right auto decisions. It's got the cool stuff, geeky stuff, serious stuff, all of it, so that you can discover, decide and drive. I'm Siddharth Sharma and I am your automate.
What seems settled for me is unfinished business. So I rewind, I pause, I reflect, I dig until what's buried stands up to be counted. Breaking ground, not just headlines, the meaning behind them. This is Breaking Ground with me, Vedika Sood.
Sound check हो गया? Visuals ready? Lights okay? Everything is ready? Wait, are you ready? ये सिर्फ एक कॉन्सर्ट नहीं है. This is my life. This is my story. One night, no repeats. Book your tickets now.
करियर से अर्ली रिटायरमेंट हो या नए करियर की शुरुआत, रहो दोनों के लिए रेडी। पीएनबी मेट लाइफ रिटायरमेंट प्लान्स के साथ लॉक करें 10.2% गारंटीड एन्युटी रेट फॉर लाइफ। पीएनबी मेट लाइफ, ऑलवेज रेडी फॉर लाइफ।
The front lines of Kargil. The fury of Operation Sindhu.
So many attacks.
The chaos and cries of disaster zone.
Yeah, watching Breaking Ground. I'm Vedika Sood. A courtroom verdict rewrites one of India's most explosive political battles. An emotional Arvind Kejriwal walks out of court, eyes moist, voice trembling, vindicated. By his side, Manish Sisodia, the man who spent months behind bars in a case that shook Delhi's power corridors. The judge is unequivocal. No conspiracy, no criminal intent, no overarching corruption in the excise policy. And with that, a case that once toppled reputations, jailed a sitting chief minister, and became a rallying cry for political warfare collapses in a Delhi courtroom. Remember, this was not just a policy dispute. This was the case that saw a serving chief minister and a deputy chief minister incarcerated and the Aam Aadmi Party fighting for political survival. Arvind Kejriwal says he always believed truth would win. But after months of jail allegations, headlines, and political mudslinging, the question is, was this accountability or was this overreach? And what does this then mean for Delhi politics and national politics? An emotional response, a legal clean chit, and a political narrative that may have just flipped. I'm Vedika Sood, and here are the headlines we're tracking at the top of 12 p.m. Big relief for Arvind Kejriwal and Manish Sisodia in the Delhi liquor scam. Kejriwal and Sisodia both acquitted. Kejriwal calls himself a Kattar Imandar.
इन्होंने झूठा केस लगाया और आज ये साबित हो गया, कोर्ट ने कहा है कि केजरीवाल कट्टर ईमानदार है.
Delhi court slams CBI conduct, recommends probe against CBI investigating officer. CBI too challenges clean chit to both Sisodia as well as Arvind Kejriwal. Amma loyalist and three-time Tamil Nadu Chief Minister OPS joins rival DMK. OPS hails Stalin's leadership, slams EPS, says he will bring the downfall of the AIA-DMK. Justice Dharma Adhikari, who heard the Kerala Story 2 case, gets promoted, set to lead Madras High Court. Suspense continues over the release of Kerala Story 2. Pakistan-Afghanistan conflict escalates, Kabul under attack. Taliban says it has killed 55 Pakistani soldiers in retaliatory operations. More serious flare-ups along the Durand line. Canada Prime Minister set to arrive in India. Shift in ties, focus on deals. Canada signals policy shift, walks back on meddling charge. The big story, a Delhi court has cleared former Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal and his Deputy Chief Minister, former Manish Sisodia. I believe he's speaking right now. We'll have to cut across. We'll come back to the story.
सत्ता के लालच में पिछले इतने सालों से हमारे ऊपर झूठी एलिगेशंस लगाई, हमारे को तड़पाया, हमारे को अरविंद जी को, उनके साथियों को जेल में भेजा, बहुत कष्ट दिया, लेकिन मुझे विश्वास था कि ईश्वर हमारा साथ देंगे, सच की जीत होगी. मैं अपने उन साथियों का भी धन्यवाद देना चाहूंगी जो इस समय में हमारे साथ रहे. सबका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, शुक्रिया.
जी, आरोप ये लगा था कि भ्रष्टाचार का मामला है और पूरा चुनाव उसी मुद्दे पर लड़ा गया था और सिटिंग मुख्यमंत्री थे जब उनको जेल भेजा गया.
आप लोग ही न्याय दीजिए, बताइए कि किसका भ्रष्टाचार था, सत्ता के लालच का भ्रष्टाचार था या
इस सबके बीच में एक और देखिए
मनीष सिसोदिया जी भी बड़ी हुए हैं कि अभी.
All right, that was Arvind Kejriwal's wife there speaking after he met with his family moments after the verdict was out. You had a very emotional Arvind Kejriwal, as you can see on your screens. I was telling you about how the court has said that there was no overarching conspiracy or criminal intent in the excise policy. Remember, former Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, former Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia, and several other Aam Aadmi Party leaders had been arrested in this case. In fact, former BRS leader K. Kavita has also been acquitted. In a stinging order, the court has said that the CBI case lacked merit. There was no evidence found against Aam Aadmi Party leaders and no criminal conspiracy was established. Now, the CBI will challenge this order is what we know. There's another case by the Enforcement Directorate against Arvind Kejriwal that is still continuing. Kejriwal was seen breaking down after the verdict. We're going to get those visuals up for you where he was extremely emotional. He started crying and he said that the case was a bit to finish him. Now, while the CBI case has collapsed, like I said, you have the Enforcement Directorate case which is still on, and now you have the CBI challenging the verdict in this case. Listen in to Arvind Kejriwal and the other reactions on this big political story.
पिछले कुछ सालों से भारतीय जनता पार्टी जिस तरह से शराब घोटाला कर रही थी और हमारे ऊपर आरोप लगा रही थी, आज कोर्ट ने सारे आरोप खारिज कर दिए और जितने भी एक्यूज्ड थे सबको डिस्चार्ज कर दिया। हम हमेशा कहते थे सत्य की जीत होती है, हमें भारतीय न्याय प्रणाली पे भरोसा है। मुंह पे जा रहे सर के माइक नीचे। मैं जज साहब का बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया अदा करता हूं जिन्होंने हमारे साथ न्याय किया, सत्य की जीत हुई। मैं हमेशा कहता था कि भगवान हमारे साथ है। मोदी जी ने और अमित शाह जी ने मिलके आजाद भारत का सबसे बड़ा राजनीतिक षड्यंत्र रचा। आम आदमी पार्टी को खत्म करने के लिए आम आदमी पार्टी के सबसे बड़े 5 नेताओं को जेल में डाल दिया गया। यहां तक कि सिटिंग चीफ मिनिस्टर, जो आज तक भारत के इतिहास में कभी नहीं हुआ, सिटिंग चीफ मिनिस्टर को उसके घर से घसीटकर जेल में डाला गया और 6 महीने तक जेल में रखा गया। हमारे उप मुख्यमंत्री मनीष सिसोदिया जी, उनको लगभग 2 साल तक जेल में रखा गया। पूरा का पूरा फर्जी केस था। हमारे ऊपर कीचड़ फेंका गया। 24 घंटे टीवी चैनलों के ऊपर डिबेट चलते थे, खबरें दिखाई जाती थी केजरीवाल भ्रष्ट है, केजरीवाल भ्रष्ट है। हो गए संभालिए सर, अपने आप संभालिए, हिम्मत सर, पीछे लाओ मत भाई। ये केजरीवाल भ्रष्ट नहीं है। मैंने केवल अपनी जिंदगी में ईमानदारी कमाई है। इन्होंने झूठा केस लगाया और आज ये साबित हो गया। कोर्ट ने कहा है कि केजरीवाल कट्टर ईमानदार है, मनीष सिसोदिया कट्टर ईमानदार है, आम आदमी पार्टी कट्टर ईमानदार है। मैं प्रधानमंत्री जी से कहना चाहता हूं, सत्ता के लिए इस तरह से खिलवाड़ मत कीजिए देश के साथ, इस तरह से संविधान के साथ खिलवाड़ मत कीजिए। आपको सत्ता चाहिए, अच्छे काम कीजिए। आज देश के सामने इतनी बड़ी बड़ी समस्याएं हैं, महंगाई है, बेरोजगारी है, पूरे देश में सड़कें टूटी पड़ी है, चारों तरफ पोल्यूशन ही पोल्यूशन हो रहा है, चारों तरफ देश में इतनी समस्याएं हैं। उन समस्याओं का समाधान करके सत्ता में आइए ना। केजरीवाल पे, आम आदमी पार्टी पे झूठे केस क्यों करते हैं? अच्छा काम करके सत्ता में आइए। इस तरह के झूठे केस करना और 24 घंटे विरोधियों के, विपक्षियों के खिलाफ ऊट पटांग के केस करना, उनको जेल में डालना, ये एक प्रधानमंत्री को शोभा नहीं देता। इससे देश आगे नहीं बढ़ेगा। देश आगे तब बढ़ेगा जब जनता की समस्याओं का समाधान किया जाएगा।
कोर्ट ने सीबीआई के ऊपर आज एक बार फिर गर्व हो रहा है देश के संविधान पर, बाबा साहब अम्बेडकर पर, जिन्होंने इतना शानदार संविधान दिया और सत्य की जीत हुई है। कोर्ट ने सीबीआई के ऊपर आज एक बार फिर गर्व हो रहा है देश के संविधान पर, बाबा साहब अम्बेडकर पर, जिन्होंने इतना शानदार संविधान दिया और सत्य की जीत हुई है।
एक पॉलिटिकल केस है ये, इसका बेस कोई नहीं है। सिर्फ अरविंद केजरीवाल को, आम आदमी पार्टी को जो है खत्म करना है। ये पार्टी कहाँ से आ गई? हम दोनों का अच्छा काम चल रहा था, लेकिन बीच में से तीसरा कौन आ गया? जो हमारी बारी ले गया, या जो लोगों को सच बताने लगा है अचानक से कि ऐसे गवर्नमेंट चलती है, ऐसे स्कूलों का काम, ऐसे बिजली का काम, ऐसे इंफ्रा का काम हो सकता है, और गवर्नमेंट का रेवेन्यू का, दिल्ली का बजट 30,000 करोड़ से 66,000 करोड़ कैसे हो सकता है, और सब सारी फैसिलिटियां फ्री भी दे सकते हैं, और आम लोगों को वो चीजें कैसे मिल सकती हैं। तो इनको ये बहुत बड़ी चिंता हुई कि इसको तो एक ही तरीका है कि इन पे झूठे केस डाल के इनको अंदर कर दो। हमारे टॉप के 5 नेताओं को अंदर कर दिया गया ताकि आम आदमी पार्टी डिसीजन मेकिंग, सारी हमारी टीम जो है वो अंदर कर दी, जेल में डाल दी। लेकिन हमें पता था कि कोई भगवान हमारे साथ है, और आज उसका फैसला आया तो हम लोगों की दुआओं का भी बहुत असर होता है। तो लोगों की दुआएं, लोगों ने जिन लोगों ने दुआएं की और जिन्होंने हमारे लिए मन्नतें मांगी, उनका भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, शुक्रिया करते हैं। और अरविंद केजरीवाल साहब, मनीष सिसोदिया, संजय सिंह और विजय नायर, जितने भी हमारे नेताओं को बरी किया गया है, उनको भी बहुत बहुत बधाई। और इससे ये साबित हो गया कि देश में जो हम कहते थे कि हम ईमानदार हैं, हमारी नीयत में कोई खोट नहीं है। हो सकता है हम पॉलिटिकली हम ना तजर्बेकार हो, हमारे पास एक्सपीरियंस कम हो, लेकिन ईमानदारी के एक्सपीरियंस में हम कभी नहीं लेंगे। तो आज ये सत्य की जीत हुई है, सत्य की जीत हुई है।
It is a reality that Kejriwal never signed any papers. So the issue is how well he has hidden the whole thing and misled the investigation. Rest assured, the CBI is going to further this case in the high judiciary. Be that may, the real question is ED, and that is where the is not.
All right, joining me live at this point is Anushka, Nupur, Ankit Tyagi, as well as Ishika. Nupur, I'm going to come to you first because there are a lot of very strong observations made by the judge today. Very quickly, if you could take us through most of them.
Well, Vedika, to begin with, the judge has, as a matter of fact, has directed an departmental inquiry against the CBI officer for this probe. Now, the judge has said that the entire probe seems to be faulty. He has said that the charge sheets, that the voluminous charge sheets filed in the case seems to have several lacunas. And in fact, the judge also pointed out that there seems to be no case against Arvind Kejriwal especially. And also the topmost, the first accused, Kuldeep Singh, the judge said that he was surprised that when there was no case made out in the entire charge sheet, how is this person's name also appearing? The judge has expressed several concerns regarding the allegations. The case, in fact, they went on to say that this entire claim of the CBI that there was a conspiracy behind the new excise policy brought in by the Delhi government to siphon off public funds, it seems to be a entirely constructive narrative, which is not supported by any evidence or witness statement. They also questioned that how come they have built entire case on the approver statement. So this is what the judge has observed, and it has essentially gone against the CBI's case. The approver statement that they have relied upon, and how the witnesses are not supporting the evidence, and several such lacunas have been pointed out in the charge sheet by the judge, and which has ultimately led to the relief to the Aam Aadmi Party leaders and also K. Kavita in the liquor policy case.
All right, so 23 accused of the people we're talking about. Ankit Tyagi also here with me live. Ankit, big day for the Aam Aadmi Party. You've seen emotional scenes outside the court. You've seen an emotional scene outside the residence of Arvind Kejriwal. You've seen him say that I've been a Kattar Imandar. What could this mean for the Aam Aadmi Party, the big picture here after all that's gone down this morning?
In fact, Vedika, right now I'm on my way to Arvind Kejriwal's residence itself, and how big it is, you can understand with the way Arvind Kejriwal broke down when he was giving us our reaction just outside the court. This is something that the Aam Aadmi Party had to suffer in terms of their image. Arvind Kejriwal, whose party was born out of that anti-corruption movement, and this whole allegation of corruption against them that did them in, isn't it? And just before the elections, both remember, before the 2024 Lok Sabha election, Arvind Kejriwal was in prison. He was, in fact, given bail to come and campaign only for the specific period when the Delhi phase of the elections was on. And then he had to surrender back. Manish Sisodia spent 2 years in jail. Vijay Nair, another important member of the Aam Aadmi Party, used to head their communication, spent over a year as far as the prison is concerned. So for them at this moment, this feels like some sort of a vindication. And not just being discharged, the way the scathing comments that the special court judge, CBI court judge has made on this entire case gives a lot of boost to the Aam Aadmi Party while though they are out of power as far as Delhi is concerned, but they are, of course, in a rebate next year in Punjab. They are hoping to expand their bases in Gujarat and Goa. In all those aspects, this is something that they are going to go to the town with. This also gives and bolsters the whole image and at least, the whole idea that the government is using the CBI or the ED as a mechanism, a tool to in fact target the opposition party. So in the next few days, not only just the Aam Aadmi Party, but the entire opposition, you will see that narrative building and coming out much strongly and vociferously. For Arvind Kejriwal, this is a very important moment. He, in fact, has built this entire. Remember, Aam Aadmi Party is nothing without Arvind Kejriwal. He's the man who gets the voters, who gets, in fact, the party going in difficult situations as well. So when he had his back, he lost his own election in Delhi. And one of the main reasons was the image that suffered a dent with this case. And now with the CBI case suffering this kind of a setback in the court at the time when the charges were to be framed, the ED case, which is based on the CBI FIR, would also be weakened, and that's the hope that the Aam Aadmi Party has now.
And let's take that question to Anushka, who's standing by. Nupur and Ankit, I'm going to come back to you in a moment from now, but Anushka, there is an ED case as well. Tell our viewers more about it, how one hinges on the other perhaps.
Well, Vedika, in this excise policy case, we have seen the CBI.
जांच चल रही है, उनका बार-बार सोनिया गांधी से मिलना ये दिखाता है कि कहीं ना कहीं हिंदुओं की आस्थाओं को भी प्रहार किया गया और हिंदुओं के पवित्र स्थानों से जो सोना चुराया गया उससे मिलने वाली कांग्रेस पार्टी के बड़े नेता, इनकी क्या मजबूरी थी कि सोना चुराने वाले, हिंदुओं की परंपराओं पर प्रहार करने वाले, हिंदुओं के खजाने को लूटने वाले, जिन्होंने हिंदू डिवोटीज ने अपनी आस्था से सोना चढ़ाया था, उसको चुराने वालों को.
We thought Anurag Thakur would be responding to the story as well. We'll try and cut to him when he does and if he does. But Anushka, the question was to you on the ED charges, also the ED case against them. Go ahead.
Well, Vedika, we have seen that the CBI was looking at this case from the angle of corruption and the ED, which was looking at this case from the angle of money laundering. Now, we have seen that this whole case started when CBI started raiding the residence of Manish Sisodia, after which Vijay Nair was in fact arrested in this case. And later on, we have seen the 23 people along with Kejriwal and Manish Sisodia who were in fact named in this case. This is not the first time that a CBI case has fallen flat inside of the court because of the lack of evidence. We have also seen the Rouse Avenue Court raining down heavily on the CBI and the central agencies, saying and recommending in fact that there should be a departmental inquiry that should be in fact done against the people who were investigating this case. Now the CBI has said that they will be challenging this whole matter in the High Court, but yes, we have seen the kind of judgment that was coming out from the Rouse Avenue Court regarding this whole case. They have said that through and through ED and the CBI and the prosecution has failed to establish any kind of substantial evidence against Arvind Kejriwal and the 23 other people who were accused in this case. This was a major political flashpoint between the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party during the Delhi elections. We have seen this was one of the major issues that the BJP was bringing up against the Aam Aadmi Party, while the Aam Aadmi Party was constantly alleging that they had nothing to do with the excise policy and it was just a governance reform. While the CBI and the central agencies had alleged that this was not in fact a governance reform, but was in fact a way so that they can in fact give benefit to private liquor owners. In this case, CBI had also alleged that there was a South cartel that was working and influencing the policy, and in return, the kickback was in fact given to the Aam Aadmi Party. We have also seen several of the leaders from South, like K. Kavita, who were under the scanner because of the excise policy case here, and we have seen CBI who had arrested, in this case, Manish Sisodia, Arvind Kejriwal, and several others who were later given a bail. We did see the kind of judgment Supreme Court had in fact given while they were hearing this excise policy case, and had said that this case is going to fall flat fact, because of the lack of evidence, the approver's statement and the narrative that was in fact currently being built in this case was that the public money was being siphoned off, and the exchequer was in fact, there was a loss of exchequer in this case, so that private players could be in fact given benefit in this case. But now we have seen the kind of judgment that has come out from the Rouse Avenue Court. What we are given to understand is that the CBI is going to challenge this case in front of the High Court. But yes, what we have also seen is that the Rouse Avenue Court has said that a department level inquiry should be in fact done against the investigating officers who are looking after this case. But so far what we do know that there were several irregularities that the CBI had pointed out. The ED was trying to look at it from a money laundering angle, but today we have seen all the 23 people who were named in this case were given a discharge from the Rouse Avenue Court. Over to you.
Do stay with me, both Anushka as well as Nupur. I'm going to come back to you in a moment from now, because we want to take our viewers through this entire timeline of events. Now, if you remember, this journey has been from jail to acquittal. On the 21st of March 2024, the Enforcement Directorate arrested Arvind Kejriwal. On the 10th of May 2024, Supreme Court had granted Kejriwal interim bail for the Lok Sabha poll campaign. Then in June in the same year, Kejriwal had surrendered. He returned to Tihar. And then on the 13th of the same year, the Supreme Court had granted regular bail to him. On the 27th of February, which is today, the court has acquitted Arvind Kejriwal of all the charges. Nupur still with me from outside the Supreme Court. Nupur, I was just reading through some of the observations, and what struck me as part of one of the most strong observations made by the judge in this case is when he said, and correct me if I'm wrong because this has to do with court details, the CBI, the Central Bureau of Investigation, tried to build a conspiracy narrative, but one founded on only conjecture instead of solid proof. The Court of Special Judge Jitinder Singh of Rouse Avenue Court said in the case filed under the Prevention of Corruption case. This is something very important to note here.
Well, yes, Vedika. In fact, I just want to bring in here a certain background to the case. I have been following this case in court since day one. And when this case came to the Supreme Court for the first time, when Manish Sisodia's bail was being heard in the Supreme Court, on the very first argument, the then former Chief Justice Sanjeev Khanna had in fact made this similar remark. He had questioned the CBI that you are making this entire case, it seems like you are establishing this entire case just based on hearsay. And now cut to today, the trial court's observation are mirroring those observations by Justice Sanjeev Khanna, who is now retired. But it is in fact a big mirroring here, because the same observation today has been made by the trial court, that approvers' statements are being used to make an entire case against Arvind Kejriwal, Manish Sisodia and other Aam Aadmi Party members. And on the other hand, they have also flagged several lacunas in the charge sheet. The judge has said that despite asking several times, the witnesses' statements are not being provided. So there are several such loopholes that has been pointed out by the in the CBI charge sheet by the trial court. At the very same time, ED case was also based on this conspiracy. Now the ED case remains, but the ED case is basically to track money laundering, the traces of money laundering. And now the ED has claimed that that money that was allegedly laundered by the Aam Aadmi Party was siphoned from this CBI case.
Nupur, do stay with me. I believe Gopal Rai is also speaking. We're going to cut across live if he still is speaking on the issue.
साफ तौर पर कहा सीबीआई ने जो कोर्ट के अंदर रिपोर्ट प्रस्तुत की उसमें कोई आधार नहीं है। साफ तौर पर आज अदालत के फैसले के बाद यह स्पष्ट हो गया है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार ने, प्रधानमंत्री ने फर्जी शराब घोटाला नहीं हुआ था, यह सीबीआई घोटाला हुआ था। एजेंसियों का दुरुपयोग करके 2 साल तक लगातार पार्टी को खत्म करने का षड्यंत्र हुआ, नेताओं को प्रताड़ित किया गया, जेल में तरह तरह के जितना भी परेशान किया जा सकता था परेशान किया गया, सत्ता का दुरुपयोग किया गया, झूठा प्रोपेगेंडा फैलाया गया, हजार बार प्रधानमंत्री से लेकर के और भारतीय जनता पार्टी के प्रवक्ताओं तक ने झूठ बोला इस देश के सामने। आज उन सारे षड्यंत्रों का, सारे झूठ का, सारे आरोपों का, सारे संविधान और लोकतंत्र की धज्जियां उड़ाने के षड्यंत्र का सामान्य अदालत के फैसले के बाद पर्दाफाश हुआ है। हम भारतीय जनता
All right, so the Aam Aadmi Party speaking. We believe that Arvind Kejriwal will also be holding a press conference this afternoon at about 4 o'clock. Of course, we'll be cutting live to that press conference as well. But a quick check on all that Nupur has been saying when it comes to the court. What has the Delhi court said? It's been a stinger to the CBI. Number one, no evidence found against Aam Aadmi Party leaders. Number two, CBI case lacks merit. This one's important. No criminal conspiracy has been established. No confessional statements have been provided. CBI tried to construct a narrative of conspiracy. That's quite the stinger there. And prosecution's theory, mere conjecture, over-reliance on approver statements is wrong. If such conduct is allowed, it's grave violation. The approver statements being made to fill gaps. So you have not one, not two, but several stinging comments being made there, scathing comments being made there by the court and the judge. A quick check on what's breaking here at the moment. All right, so the Karnataka Game of Thrones has intensified. DKS loyalists have met at a Karnataka hotel. What we're being told is around 25 to 30 MLAs met at a 5-star hotel in Bengaluru last night. H.C. Balakrishna was celebrating his birthday, for which he had invited many of the MLAs. Now, the inside track on this is, as we know, Balakrishna is a close confidant of DK Shivkumar and has batted for his elevation openly. 18 MLAs seen in the picture that was taken. Apart from celebrations, discussions were also held on the roadmap ahead. Many of them were of the opinion that clarity is needed from the High Command on this leadership row, and the discussion was also on a possible tour to Delhi soon. So as you can see, the visuals that we're getting to you also, and the story that we're in fact getting to you, is of more support coming in for DK Shivkumar at a time when there has been for very long this face-off, this discomfort between Siddaramaiah and the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, DK Shivkumar. We've been told that a lot of them, 25 to 30 of these MLAs, met in a 5-star hotel in Bengaluru last night. This was H.C. Balakrishna's birthday that we're celebrating, a man who is seen to be a close confidant of DK Shivkumar and has batted for his elevation openly. 18 MLAs were seen in the pictures that were taken. The discussion, according to sources, on the time that the leadership makes it clear who will continue as the top leader of the party for the top post. Will it be Siddaramaiah or DK Shivkumar? And there was also discussion for taking this to Delhi. I have Deepak Bopanna joining me live on the story. Deepak, bring us the inside track. We've had H.C. Balakrishna, close confidant of DK Shivkumar, along with those MLAs who had gathered last night, we believe, at a hotel. What can you tell us, according to your sources, on what went down in that meeting, in the conversations they held? There is also possibly a trip to Delhi that is being planned from what we hear.
Well, H.C. Balakrishna, Congress MLA from Magadi, also a very close aide of DK Shivkumar, has his birthday due in the next couple of days. He was traveling out of Bengaluru and wanted to invite a group of like-minded legislators, and they've met at the Four Seasons Hotel in Bengaluru last night. We have a picture, of course, that shows about 18 of them, standing together. I'm told that about 25 to 30 attended. And when you have MLAs, especially the like-minded ones, come together, you can definitely expect politics to be discussed, and that's exactly what has happened. Many of them, of course, are in favor of DK Shivkumar's elevation. They have discussed what's been happening, and they are of the opinion that there needs to be some sort of a clarity that comes in from the High Command. They're also, of course, considering making a trip to Delhi in the days to come, and we'll really have to see how things materialize. Now, whether this is a show of strength by Mr. D.K. Shivakumar, probably not at this point in time, because it was definitely a meeting that was called for the purpose of his birthday celebration. But was there a discussion on the leadership? Yes, there was. And how this will fare in the days to come is going to be very interesting to note. But at this point in time, what we can tell our viewers is that the opinion and the consensus there was that there needs to be a clear-cut decision from the High Command about this leadership issue, which hasn't come by up until now. They're hoping that that happens, and if it doesn't, they're prepared to make a trip to Delhi as well.
So that's the inside track there with Deepak Bopana. Thank you for joining me here on Breaking Ground. The big political story from the South. Three-time Chief Minister and expelled AIADMK leader O. Paneerselvam has officially joined the DMK party, marking a major twist in the state elections of Tamil Nadu. OP has joined the rival party in the presence of Chief Minister M.K. Stalin at the DMK headquarters. Speaking on the transition, OPS hailed Stalin, saying the Chief Minister and DMK would protect Dravidian ideology. Slamming AIADMK Chief EPS, OPS said that the leader would be responsible for the party's fall. CM Stalin reacted to the transition and welcomed OPS, saying that democratic forces were increasingly joining the alliance. Slamming the move, the BJP hit out, saying that the move wouldn't be accepted by Tamil Nadu and would not have any impact on the upcoming election. NDTV has accessed exclusive information on the transition, which suggests that OPS's move came after failed attempts to enter the NDA. Despite EPS shutting AIADMK doors for OPS, OPS was adamant on entering the alliance via the AIADMK to pacify the BJP. Even offered him an independent seat, is what we're being told. With the NDA option effectively closed, back-channel talks with DMK gathered pace. As per sources in the DMK, OPS will be given a seat.
What is the role of OPS in DMK right now, sir?
He will work for the victory of DMK now.
Any particular positions?
No, that it is for the
OPS bring to DMK?
He had brought many senior leaders from ADMK. They have all joined together and they will work for DMK.
Is it community you are trying?
No, it is not the question of community. He was a senior leader of the ADMK. He did not get any respect in that party. He had joined us as a political...
OPS being a biggest critic of DMK, AIADMK.
See, I'll tell you, many people were critical about DMK when they are in their opposition parties. We had a fight when we were, before 1967, our fight was against Congress only. Then subsequently, Congress is with us now. So politically, there should be some kind of common agenda, that's all.
What is
now
the
common agenda is to throw out BJP from the state.
Yes, we have been saying that the like-minded parties which want to throw away DMK from the rule, they should join NDA, and Mr. O. Paneerselvam has been our friend for a long time, very long time, so maybe 8 or 10 years. So definitely we feel that Mr. O. Paneerselvam, the former Chief Minister, should come to the NDA, and since he has been there with AIADMK for a very long time, the people will not definitely like him to go with other parties or any other alliance. So we welcome if he comes.
No, this is what we've been saying for long. If it is AIADMK, it is one under the leadership of EPS. And people who had left the party are individuals. They are not factions. And now the traitor has proved himself. He literally did all anti-party activities. He vandalized our party headquarters, which is regarded as a temple. And for us, DMK is an evil force. That's what our founder termed it. And our Amma lived by those words. And even our leader EPS lived by those words. And this traitor joined hand in gloves with them, took instructions from them while working inside AIADMK. He is a disgrace in public life. He certainly can't be termed as somebody who is commanding so much of influence among our cadres. Our cadres know he is a traitor. The day he vandalized our temple. Now people get the clear picture. EPS, who has foiled and thwarted the evil design and plan of DMK to split AIADMK, DMK should hang its head in shame. They tried all the means and ways to split this party. It was our leader EPS who stood firm and ensured that that plan didn't execute. They couldn't do that. And traitors finally find the solace under whom they were receiving instructions.
Veera Raghav now joining me live, Executive Editor, NDTV. Veera, just to understand from you the big picture here, you have OPS who wanted to be a part of the AIDMK, all possible efforts over the years failing. You have him now as part of the DMK. Can this really be seen as his attempt to take on EPS? Is that the big picture here? Because the attempts he's made till now have been foiled by the other.
First thing, Vedika, no permanent friends or enemies in politics. The optics of a former AIDMK chief minister who was sworn into power by Jayalalitha herself, garlanding Stalin is something for the books as far as Tamil Nadu is concerned. But number two, it's also a reflection of the much that's changed in Tamil Nadu politics since then. EPS-OPS rivalry has been known for a long time. It's categorical that EPS did not want O. Pannirselvam in the AIDMK fold because he sees him as a genuine threat or a constant threat to his own leadership of the party, and he didn't want that. Having said that, O. Pannirselvam himself had receded into a largely political irrelevance, if I may, in the last few years in terms of his own power within the party or outside. And he is seen as a faction that was outside. The BJP, though, wanted to unite all erstwhile AIADMK factions. And that's where the DMK has sent out the optics that anyone opposed, any regional satrap opposed to the EPS faction is willing to come under its umbrella. It also sends the DMK's optics of building a large alliance and taking whatever arithmetic that comes in its way along with that alliance. So largely it's a win for the optics as far as the DMK is concerned. It's a decision that OPS, perhaps cornered and had no other option, had to take at the stage because he may not have been very relevant had he contested on his own. What this really means to the larger AIDMK game, we'll know only after the results come out.
All right, and Veera, I want to understand from you, looking at the regional politics of Tamil Nadu at this point, you have a Vijay, of course, who could play the kingmaker, could be the dark horse in this entire political gambit and ahead of the polls and after the polls. But what could this mean for the DMK, having OPS with them? What could it mean for the AIA-DMK with him being with the DMK?
Look, for the DMK, it's a good bargain, right? You get that one seat. The only seat that they're likely to give OPS is the Bodhi-Nayaka-Nallur seat, where he's got a presence himself. And what he brings to the party in terms of electoral math is a few, perhaps 100 votes around that constituency or that little incremental vote that could be important in a close election. But let's see in terms of the larger optics. The larger optics is that the DMK, especially in the background of Vijay Kant's, former late actor Vijay Kant's DMDK joining its fold, which remember the NDA was trying to woo to its fold. The DMK won that over, bringing Premalata Vijayakant towards its side. And now having O. Pannirselvam in its side is sending the optics that every major regional player or sub-regional leader or any leader worth his salt is willing to consolidate under it. It's also sending out a message that the erstwhile AIADMK OPC Tevar caste vote, it's not leaving it unchallenged, and that TTV Dinakaran and Edapadi Palanichami have not been able to unite all the other factions within. So that's pretty much the optics that the DMK is sending across. As far as the AIDMK is concerned, it just shows that this election, as far as the AIDMK is concerned, is categorical in the aspiration of Edapadi Palanichami in charge.
All right, Veera, thanks for joining me live. We have an exclusive conversation with OPS. Sam Daniel has spoken to him. We're going to play that out and Sam is going to translate that conversation for you.
Very much for your time, sir. What brought you to DMK? DMK enna varalachu?
MK's talent, political activities, inclusive approach, taking people all together without any caste or religious discrimination. People want
மக்கள் எண்ணத்தில்
உங்களுடைய நோக்கம் டிஎம்கே வெற்றி பெறணுங்கிறதால இபிஎஸ் தோக்கணும். உங்களுடைய நோக்கம் டிஎம்கே வெற்றி பெறணுங்கிறதா இல்ல இபிஎஸ் தோக்கணும்?
வெற்றி பெற வேண்டும்.
help DMK win or to make EPS lose.
இனிமேட்டு ஏடிஎம்கே மீட்க முடியாதுங்கிற அந்த நிலைமை
DMK to win automatically EPS would lose.
அவர் பொதுச் செயலாளராக பொறுப்பேற்றிருந்து அனைத்து
secretary in all spheres.
தேர்தல் அத்தனையுமே அவர் தோல்வியை கண்டிருக்கிறார்.
கடைசியா உங்களுடைய வருகையினால தென் மாவட்டங்கள்ல தேவர் சமுதாய ஓட்டு முழுசா இப்ப டிஎம்கேக்கு வருமா?
Will your entry bring Devar community's votes to DMK?
இன்றைக்கு மாண்புமிகு
all sections of people in Tamil Nadu
அவர் சிறப்பான ஆட்சியை வழிநடத்தி சென்று கொண்டிருக்கிற நிலை
acknowledging that
நீங்க போட்டியிடுவீங்க.
Stalin is leading Tamil Nadu in a good way.
முதலமைச்சர் அவர்கள்
Regarding my contest in election, DMK chief
அவர் திரு ஸ்டாலின் அவர்கள்
would decide, Mr. Stalin would decide. If he decides, if he permits, I will contest Seoul.
The new entrant to DMK talking to us, saying that the way
Live with me at this point, Sam, you've just had that exclusive conversation with OPS. It seems this is all about, in many ways perhaps, and we've gone through the inside track with Veera. We've spoken about how OPS tried several times to get back into the AIADMK fold, but he's made it clear this is a war cry against EPS.
That's right. He tried first to get into AIADMK. That didn't work. It became a legal struggle. The case is still in the court. Then he tried to enter into the NDA, under the umbrella of NDA, so that he can still be part of the AIADMK alliance. Even that could not work. And although he made an exit, there was no positive response from the NDA, largely because EPS was not in favor of letting back OPS. It's in this context, before elections, he has decided to switch sides and shake hands with, in a sense, the AIADMK's arch rival, the ruling DMK in Tamil Nadu, complimenting MK Stalin, the DMK chief, for what he calls his good governance and taking people of all sections, communities together. And that he says he will work to help the DMK win election. The larger political point, he belongs to the Devar community who determine, in a sense, the victory of any party in southern Tamil Nadu. And at the moment, the Devar community's votes could get split. Some for TTV Dinakaran, who's now in NDA, some for Sasikala, who plans to fight alone, and some now that OPS is now in the DMK, that could go to the DMK.
All right, Sam, thanks for joining me on the phone line there. Sam Daniel bringing you that exclusive conversation with OPS. On that note, we're going to be slipping to a short break. News and updates will continue here on Breaking Ground. Stay tuned.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's leading AI smartphone brand. Motorola Signature, India's #1 camera phone. Grab Motorola Signature today.
Big relief for Arvind Kejriwal, Manish Sisodia and others within the AAP fold in the Delhi liquor gate case. Kejriwal, Sisodia both have been acquitted. Kejriwal calls himself Kattar Imandar, gets emotional while speaking to the media. Delhi court slams CBI conduct, recommends probe against CBI investigating officer. CBI too challenges clean chit to both Kejriwal and Sisodia. Amma loyalist and three-time Tamil Nadu Chief Minister OPS joins rival DMK. OPS hails Stalin's leadership, slams EPS, says he will bring the downfall of the AIADMK. He speaks exclusively to NDTV. Justice Dharma Adhikari, who heard the Kerala Story 2 case, gets promoted, set to lead Madras High Court. Suspense continues over the release of the controversial movie.
इनको यहाँ से जाना ही होगा।
There is no bigger battle in 2026. And nobody has reported Bengal like I have.
Buckle up for an unforgettable election thriller. Will the BJP breach Mamta's fortress?
TMC जावे, BJP आसमे.
Can Didi fight off her life's biggest challenge?
BJP double engine সরকার এই লড়াই বাঁচতে হবে.
Battleground Bengal with Manogya Loiwal.
After the roaring success in Delhi, Hyderabad and Mumbai, the NDTV DP World PGTI Golf Pro-Am now travels to Ahmedabad. India's finest professionals, the city's most accomplished business leaders. Great golf, great company. NDTV DP World PGTI Golf Pro-Am. The course of champions, the conversation of leaders. 8th March, Kalhar Blues and Greens, Ahmedabad.
First India tour in your city. Rag on with Shankar Ehsan Loy and Siddharth Mahadevan and Shivam Mahadevan. 5 times melody, 5 times masti with NDTV Good Times. Go, grab your tickets.
Straight from the heart of the newsroom to the core of the stories shaping your world. Join me, Gargi Raut, as I track all the developments as they break. Live from the NDTV newsroom, weekdays at 4 p.m.
Across the country, he has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Raj Kaul, covering international affairs like no one else, only on NDTV network.
From 1983 to now, I have seen cricket evolve, but the mindset to win never changed. I tell you that what win matches and what doesn't. This T20 World Cup, let's talk cricket, controversies and more on NDTV.
Alright team, our new order show is ready. Now we need a promo. Something cool, something sharp.
Well, I'm sure we'll be having outstanding reviews, solid suggestions,
Expert advice, the latest trends. It's a lot simpler. We'll help people make the right auto decisions. It's got the cool stuff, geeky stuff, serious stuff, all of it, so that you can discover, decide and drive. I'm Siddharth Sharma and I am your Automate.
What seems settled for me is unfinished business. So I rewind. I pause. I reflect. I dig until what's buried stands up to be counted. Breaking ground, not just headlines, the meaning behind them. This is Breaking Ground with me, Vedika Sood.
Sound check हो गया? Visuals ready? Lights okay? Everything is ready? Wait, are you ready? ये सिर्फ एक कॉन्सर्ट नहीं है. This is my life. This is my story. One night, no repeats. Book your tickets now.
The front lines of Kargil. The fury of Operation Sindhu.
So many attacks.
The chaos and cries of disaster zones. to fighter jet cockpits and the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break. Live, unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right and Centre.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area. North Ukraine. In France, in Italy. At Srinagar. I is Vikrant. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
इनको यहाँ से जाना ही होगा।
जय मां दुर्गा! तृणमूल कांग्रेस आर क्यों नोए?
There is no bigger battle.
Let's bring you the top international story. Pakistan has declared open war, quote unquote, against Afghanistan. It has bombed Kabul after the Afghan attack and claimed 133 people were killed. Let's take you through the details along with some visuals coming in. Pakistan struck Kabul and Kandahar in one of their biggest operations against Afghanistan. Blasts were heard across the city, including sounds of jets. Afghan Taliban defense targets were targeted in Kabul, in Paktia province and Kandahar. Pakistani Information Minister had posted this on X. The Pakistani army targeted and destroyed important military installations of the Afghan Taliban in Paktika, also destroying the core headquarters of the Afghan Taliban there. Pakistan also destroyed the ammunition depot of the Afghan Taliban regime in Kandahar. In Afghanistan's coast area, 4 Pakistani regime posts have been captured. Afghan forces have also seized weapons from these posts. This spokesperson confirming that Pakistani regime soldiers stationed in the posts have been eliminated and the posts have now been burned down. Also, security sources say that in the Doklam area of Nare district in Kunar, on the other side of the Durand line, a Pakistani military outpost has caught fire in attacks by Afghan forces. As per Afghan authorities, 10 posts and 12 bodies have been seized in the province.
Alhamdulillah.
Tensions between neighbors Afghanistan and Pakistan have peaked after the Afghan Taliban launched an operation against military positions along the shared border late on Thursday. Islamabad declared open war on the Afghan Taliban government following renewed clashes along the shared border between Afghanistan and Pakistan. Pakistan launched Operation Gazib-Lihaq against Afghanistan, targeting several military installations in cities like Kabul, Paktia and Kandahar. The escalation came after Pakistan bombed Afghanistan's Kabul and Kandahar on Friday, hours after Afghan forces attacked Pakistani border troops in what the Taliban government said was retaliation for deadly airstrikes earlier this week. Both sides say they inflicted heavy damage, heavy casualties during these clashes. Residents in Pakistan's border said they heard explosions and were advised to move to safer locations.
پاکستاني ځواکونو له لورې په ننګرهار او پکتیا ولایتونو کې د هوایي بریدونو د غچ اخیستنې په موخه باندې همدا شیبه د جمعې شپه 8 بجې دي په شرقي زون کې د 201 خالد بن ولید رضی الله تعالی عنه قل اردو سرحدي او پیاده ځواکونو له طرف نه په ننګرهار او کونړ ولایتونو کې فردي کرښې تاثیر ما د پاکستاني ملیشو په پوستو باندې درنه غزا پیل شوه.
Aditya Rajkol now joins me live. Aditya, the border remains tense. For the benefit of our viewers, if you could take us through how this conflict dates back to decades, the differences between Pakistan and the people across the border. It all started with the border itself.
Well, that's right, Vedika. The larger historical perspective on this is, of course, the Pashtun land. And this is not just, the Afghanistan, but this is the question of the Durand line that Afghanistan does not give any legitimacy to. They say they have a larger assurance should be given that the larger Pashtun land is theirs. But TTP has been waging a war against Pakistan. Over the last 2 to 3 years, these attacks by the TTP have increased manyfold. There are several attacks that are happening almost on a daily basis in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, particularly, but other areas as well. Now, what has happened recently in the recent weeks is that there was a bombing inside a shrine in Islamabad in which several people were killed. And Pakistan's defense minister blamed Afghanistan and India, Taliban and New Delhi for that bombing. And immediately after that, Afghanistan was furious, Taliban was furious, and they decided to act. So they have acted in the form of these strikes. But before this, for the bombing that happened in Islamabad, Pakistan acted and did airstrikes just a few days ago, in which 18 Afghan civilians were killed. This included women and children as well. And these were airstrikes in 3 different provinces across Afghanistan. Now, again, Taliban has been very, very furious and acted last night, attacking several Pakistani military outposts in more than 50 areas around the Durand line. And now, currently, there are intense clashes that are underway. More than 150 Pakistani soldiers have died, as per the claims of the Afghan Taliban. No doubt, Vedika, that Pakistanis have a very superior air power. It's not even comparable with Afghanistan. But when it comes to resilience and when it comes to fighting at the border, the Pashtuns and the Afghans are much more superior to Pakistanis. There are reports coming in that in several outposts, Pakistani soldiers are leaving and fleeing.
All right.
Intense clashes continue.
Aditya, I'll have to leave it there because we're running out of time. But of course, the conflict continues. It's escalating. Is this an open war then? Joining me at 1:30 on Breaking Ground will be South Asia expert Michael Kugelman. That's coming up in about 35 minutes from now. News is coming in. Hacker has stolen huge data trove from Mexico using Anthropic's Claude. An unknown hacker, we're being told, used Anthropic's Claude chatbot to carry out widespread attacks on Mexican government agencies, stealing a huge trove of tax and voter information, government employee credentials, and civil registry files. This is something that we're learning now. The user supplied Spanish language prompts to Claude and used various techniques to get around guardrails intended to prevent the tool from being used in hacking exploits, Israeli cybersecurity startup Gambit Security said in a Wednesday study. Beginning in December, the hacker stole a total of 150 gigabytes of Mexican government data, including data related to 195 million taxpayer records, voter records, government employee credentials, and civil registry files. So big questions being raised there over perhaps the misuse of AI tools. We'll have to leave it at that. I'll be back in moments from now with the headlines and top stories on Breaking Ground at 1 p.m.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's leading AI smartphone brand. Motorola Signature, India's #1 camera phone. Grab Motorola Signature today.
After the roaring success in Delhi, Hyderabad and Mumbai, the NDTV DP World PGTI Golf Pro-Am now travels to Ahmedabad. India's finest professionals, the city's most accomplished business leaders. Great golf, great company. NDTV DP World PGTI Golf Pro-Am. The course of champions, the conversation of leaders. 8th March, Kalhar Blues and Greens, Ahmedabad.
first India tour in your city. Rag on with Shankar Ehsaan Loy and Siddharth Mahadevan and Shivam Mahadevan. 5 times melody, 5 times masti with NDTV Good Times. Go, grab your tickets.
Straight from the heart of the newsroom to the core of the stories shaping your world. Join me, Gargi Rawat, as I track all the developments as they break. Live from the NDTV newsroom, weekdays at 4 p.m.
Across the country, he has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Raj Kaul, covering international affairs like no one else, only on NDTV network.
From 1983 to now, I have seen cricket evolve, but the mindset to win never changed. I tell you that what win matches and what doesn't. This T20 World Cup, let's talk cricket, controversies and more on NDTV.
Alright team, our new order show is ready. Now we need a promo. Something cool, something sharp.
Well, I'm sure we'll be having outstanding reviews, solid suggestions,
expert advice, the latest trends. It's a lot simpler. We'll help people make the right auto decisions. It's got the cool stuff, geeky stuff, serious stuff, all of it, so that you can discover, decide and drive. I'm Siddharth Sharma and I am your Automate.
What seems settled for me is unfinished business. So I rewind, I pause, I reflect, I dig until what's buried stands up to be counted. Breaking ground, not just headlines, the meaning behind them. This is Breaking Ground with me, Vedika Sood.
Sound check हो गया? Visuals ready? Lights okay? Everything.
You're watching Breaking Ground with me, Vedika Sood. It's 1 p.m. We start Breaking Ground with not just another cricket story. It is a story of courage, of duty, of a son torn between two worlds. India batter Rinku Singh walked onto the field with a storm raging inside him. His father was on ventilation support, battling cancer, fighting for life in a hospital room. And yet, Rinku chose to wear the India jersey. He made a quick visit to see his father at the hospital. He stood by his bedside and then he flew back. Back to Chennai, back to the dressing room, back to the tricolour on his chest. Dropped from the playing 11 against Zimbabwe, used only as a substitute fielder. But that, viewers, is not the headline tonight. The headline is this: he showed up. He chose the team. He chose the nation, even as his heart was somewhere else. And then came the news every child dreads. His father passed away. Rinku has now returned home where he truly needs to be. The BCCI has offered condolences, teammates have stood by him, the cricketing fraternity has rallied around him. But beyond these statements lies something much deeper. What does it take for a son or a daughter to step onto the field knowing time is slipping away? What strength does it demand to focus on the game when your father is fighting for his last breath? This is not about runs, not about selection, not about the scorecard. This is about character. In a tournament driven by pressure, noise, expectation, Rinku Singh reminded us what quiet strength looks like. On Breaking Ground, we salute the cricketer, but more importantly, we salute the son. A quick check on the headlines at this hour. Big relief for Arvind Kejriwal and Manish Sisodia in Delhi liquor scam. Kejriwal, Sisodia both acquitted. Kejriwal calls himself a Kattar Imandar, gets emotional.
झूठा केस लगाया और आज ये साबित हो गया। कोर्ट ने कहा है कि केजरीवाल कट्टर ईमानदार है।
Delhi court slams CBI conduct, recommends probe against CBI investigating officer CBI 2 to challenge the clean sheet to Kejriwal and Sisodia. The big political headline, Amma loyalist and three-time Tamil Nadu Chief Minister OPS joins rival DMK. OPS hails Stalin's leadership, slams EPS, says he will bring the downfall of the AIA-DMK. He speaks exclusively to NDTV. Justice Dharmadhikari, who heard the Kerala Story 2 case, gets promoted, set to lead Madras High Court. Suspense continues over the release of the controversial movie. And Pakistan-Afghanistan conflict escalates. Kabul under attack. Taliban says it has killed 55 Pakistani soldiers in retaliatory operations. More serious flare-ups along the Durand line. Coming up on that big story will be Michael Kugelman, Director South Asia Institute, the Wilson Center. He's going to decode that big conflict for us here on Breaking Ground at 1:30 p.m. Breaking news coming in. The CBI has decided to appeal in the High Court against the judgment of the trial court immediately. I'm reading out a part of their statement here. They go on to say, since several aspects of the investigation have either been ignored or not considered adequately. This is something that we had spoken of in the previous show as well. Now, the CBI has come out with an official statement stating that they will be challenging the court's order in the High Court. I have live with me Nupur and Anushka at this point. Nupur, the CBI now saying that some of the issues that they had put together as part of the investigation, quote unquote, have either been ignored or not considered adequately.
Well, Vedika, it remains to be seen that what the High Court will see of these arguments that the CBI is now raising. CBI, of course, has all the rights to approach the higher court, but what has happened today is a major blow to the entire case of Delhi liquor policy that has been built by the CBI against the Aam Aadmi Party leaders, because today's order by the the Rouse Avenue Court judge has in fact recorded several lacunas. So it is, I just went through the order copy. It is more than 500 pages long copy, and each and every instance is recorded in it. Remember, there was this case of larger conspiracy on framing the new liquor policy, which had introduced the private players in the liquor policy of Delhi, and it was alleged that the Aam Aadmi Party has in fact siphoned off funds in giving benefits to these private players and contracts to these private players. Now, what is important here is that Arvind Kejriwal, who was said to be the kingpin, he was made the kingpin. Though he was included much later in the case. 2023 first, this case began when Manish Sisodia was in fact arrested. Arvind Kejriwal came into the picture much later, but he was arrested and named the kingpin by both CBI and ED in their charge sheets. They had in fact detailed out several instances where Kejriwal and other accused held meetings. They had linked the crime proceeds to Goa elections, to funding to Goa elections. Now, this entire thing, one by one, has been recorded in the case. Entire charge sheet has been recorded in the order, and despite after going through all the evidences placed, the court found that there were several lacunas, and what was the most contentious part which the judge objected to was that when there were several lacunas in the case, it was the approver's statement that was relied upon to build the entire case against the Aam Aadmi Party leaders, which now the judge is calling a narrative building in itself by the central agency.
Stinging comments there, like you and I discussed even previously, by the judge in this case. Some really important points that we'll take our viewers through in a short while from now. But Anushka, there's a CBI case, there's an Enforcement Directorate case. For the benefit of our viewers, just tell us how they are connected, if they are, and how one could impact the other, if so.
Well, that's right, Vedika. We have seen that this case was first, the FIR was registered by the CBI, after which the ED had in fact taken up this case. CBI was looking after this case from the corruption angle, while the ED was looking after it from the money laundering angle. Now, this case, the whole case started when the CBI first started raiding the residence of Manish Sisodia. Afterwards, we had seen Vijay Nair, who was also one of the accused in this case, was arrested. Not just that, we have seen several of the leaders from South as well were involved in this whole case. We have seen the likes of K. Kavita, who was also named in this case when the investigation were in fact going on. Now we are seeing the CBI has in a statement said that many key parts of this whole case was not in fact considered adequately, and they will be challenging this order in front of the High Court. But yes, we have seen that in this whole case where the CBI had alleged that this whole policy was not a governance reform, but rather a policy built to siphon off people, the money of the common people, and also to in fact give undue favors to the private players, the private liquor companies who will be a part of this whole the whole excise policy. We have also seen that in this case the CBI had alleged that South Cartel was also working and was influencing the excise policy, and in return they were getting kickbacks. The Aam Aadmi Party was in fact getting kickbacks and were in fact generating money illegally in this whole case. But yes, we have seen the Rouse Avenue Court today coming down heavily on the CBI, and had in fact also said that there is nothing to substantiate, no evidence whatsoever on which this case can stand, and that is how we are seeing that the Rouse Avenue Court even said that there should be a departmental level inquiry that should be held against the investigators who were looking after this case. Now the CBI is saying that they will be approaching High Court, so it is yet to see what the High Court makes out of this case and how this whole case is going to turn out in front of the High Court. But yes, this is a key development that has in fact been coming in from the CBI with the statement that they have given saying that they will be in fact challenging this order indeed. Over to you.
Thank you, Anushka. Thank you, Nupur, for joining me on that developing story. Well, a Delhi court has cleared former Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal and his deputy Manish Sisodia in the CBI case of alleged corruption in making a new policy to sell liquor in the national capital. There was no overarching conspiracy or criminal intent in the excise policy. I'm quoting what the court has said here. Now, remember, former Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal and his deputy Manish Sisodia and several other Aam Aadmi leaders had been arrested in the case. In fact, former BRS leader K. Kavita has also been acquitted. In a stinging order, the court said that the CBI case lacked merit. There was no evidence found against Aam Aadmi Party leaders and no criminal conspiracy could be established. Kejriwal was seen breaking down after the verdict and said that the case was a bit to finish him politically. Now, while the CBI case has collapsed, remember, like Anushka just pointed out, there is an Enforcement Directorate case which is still on. It is in the court. In fact, BJP is also alleging that Kejriwal's main involvement was with regard to finances, and he will not get any relief from the Enforcement Directorate. That's what the BJP is saying.
पिछले कुछ सालों से भारतीय जनता पार्टी जिस तरह से शराब घोटाला कर रही थी और हमारे ऊपर आरोप लगा रही थी, आज कोर्ट ने सारे आरोप खारिज कर दिए और जितने भी एक्यूज्ड थे सबको डिस्चार्ज कर दिया। हम हमेशा कहते थे सत्य की जीत होती है, हमें भारतीय न्याय प्रणाली पे भरोसा है। मैं जज साहब का बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया अदा करता हूं जिन्होंने हमारे साथ न्याय किया, सत्य की जीत हुई। मैं हमेशा कहता था कि भगवान हमारे साथ है।
आज एक बार फिर गर्व है देश के संविधान पर, बाबा साहब अम्बेडकर पर, जिन्होंने इतना शानदार संविधान दिया और सत्य की जीत हुई है।
सर, कोर्ट ने सीबीआई के ऊपर
आज एक बार फिर गर्व हो रहा है देश के संविधान पर, बाबा साहब अम्बेडकर पर, जिन्होंने इतना शानदार संविधान दिया, और सत्य की जीत हुई है।
मैं ईश्वर का धन्यवाद देना चाहूंगी। इस दुनिया में चाहे कोई कितना भी शक्तिवान हो जाए, लेकिन ईश्वर की शक्ति के ऊपर नहीं हो सकता। मैं जज साहब का भी धन्यवाद देना चाहूंगी, जिन्होंने इतनी हिम्मत दिखाई। अरविंद जी ने पूरा जीवन ईमानदारी से जिया है और उनका एक ही ध्येय है कि ये देश खूब तरक्की करे, लेकिन इन लोगों ने अपने सत्ता के लालच में पिछले इतने सालों से हमारे ऊपर झूठी एलिगेशंस लगाई, हमारे को तड़पाया, हमारे को, अरविंद जी को, उनके साथियों को जेल में भेजा, बहुत कष्ट दिया, लेकिन मुझे विश्वास था कि ईश्वर हमारा साथ देंगे, सच की जीत होगी। मैं अपने उन साथियों का भी धन्यवाद देना चाहूंगी जो इस समय में हमारे साथ रहे। सबका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, शुक्रिया।
जस्टिस संजीव खन्ना को हमेशा इतिहास याद रखेगा। पूरी जजमेंट में लिखा कि ये केस तो 1 मिनट भी ट्रायल में ठहर नहीं पाएगा। खुद कोर्ट में कहा, ओपन कोर्ट में कहा, और आखिरी में पलट गए, मगर बेल मैं नहीं दूंगा। तो ये तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट में ही जाहिर हो गया था कि सीबीआई और ईडी के पास कोई प्रूफ नहीं है, एविडेंस नहीं है, इसीलिए आज डिस्चार्ज किया। डिस्चार्ज का मतलब भी समझ लीजिए, ये केस इस लायक भी नहीं है कि इसके अंदर मुकदमा चल सके। इतना
proves time and again the effort, the stress, the emotions that we've gone through. Our families have suffered. Big leaders like Sisodia ji have been jailed for a year and a half. Kejriwal ji was being jailed. I was being jailed for 5.5 months. The toll that took on our reputation, the toll that took on our families. My only question is, who's going to bring all that back?
You look emotional, ma'am. Of course, you say that who will bring back those kind of stress, your family, and you lived it. Emotionally, how strong and how weak you feel after hearing this verdict, ma'am?
No, I feel very, very strong. I've always known that is the truth. I said I will come out very clean from this. I have come out. I kept working to the for the people through the troubles. Now I'll work with much more strength and much more energy. Thank you. Jai Telangana.
हमारी पार्टी की तरफ से हम यही कहते रहे कि ये सब एक पॉलिटिकल केस है, ये इसका बेस कोई नहीं है। सिर्फ अरविंद केजरीवाल को, आम आदमी पार्टी को जो है खत्म करना है। ये पार्टी कहाँ से आ गई? हम दोनों का अच्छा काम चल रहा था, लेकिन बीच में से तीसरा कौन आ गया जो हमारी बारी ले गया, जो लोगों को सच बताने लगा है अचानक से कि ऐसे गवर्नमेंट चलती है, ऐसे स्कूलों का काम, ऐसे बिजली का काम, ऐसे इंफ्रा का काम हो सकता है। और गवर्नमेंट का रेवेन्यू का, दिल्ली का बजट 30,000 करोड़ से 66,000 करोड़ कैसे हो सकता है? और सब सारी फैसिलिटियां फ्री भी दे सकते हैं, और आम लोगों को वो चीजें कैसे मिल सकती हैं? तो इनको ये बहुत बड़ी चिंता हुई कि इसको तो एक ही तरीका है कि इन पे झूठे केस डाल के इनको अंदर कर दो। हमारे टॉप के 5 नेताओं को अंदर कर दिया गया ताकि आम आदमी पार्टी डिसीजन मेकिंग, सारी हमारी टीम जो है वो अंदर कर दी, जेल में डाल दी। लेकिन हमें पता था कि कोई भगवान हमारे साथ है, और आज उसका फैसला आया तो हम लोगों की दुआओं का भी बहुत असर होता है।
It is a reality that Kejriwal never signed any papers. So the issue is how well he has hidden the whole thing and misled the investigation. Rest assured, the CBI is going to further this case in the high judiciary. Be that may, the real question is ED. And that is where the ex-income tax officer will have to.
In related news coming in, Congress's Pawan Khera has slammed the clean chit to Arvind Kejriwal. He has said Congress's convenient ally. Rather, what he's saying here is, or alluding here, is that the cases against convenient allies will be dropped, and with the polls nearing, cases against us will rise. Aishwarya is joining me live. Aishwarya, what is Pawan Khera trying to allude to here?
Well, Pawan Khera clearly calling the Aam Aadmi Party a B team of BJP because the elections are nearby in the states of Punjab and Gujarat, where Aam Aadmi Party vote share is huge. And to defeat the Congress party, it is requirement of the Bharatiya Janata Party to get Arvind Kejriwal out, and therefore the reason perhaps that certainly will help the Bharatiya Janata Party is the claims that the Congress party has made. Pawan Khera went on to say that elections are coming, so the script is predictable. Cases against Congress leaders will suddenly escalate. P. Chidambaram has already been dragged into multiple cases in Tamil Nadu because they know for the fact that Chidambaram can hamper the positioning of the Bharatiya Janata Party and its ally in the state of Tamil Nadu, and therefore the reason perhaps Prime Minister on the other side is clearly, having said that, what he has stated for Trinamool Congress and the positioning of the Prime Minister. So it's a complete, a kind of attack by the Congress party as far as BJP and its tools. It is what Congress party has stated that it's a BJP's playbook, vendetta as governance and agencies as campaign tools. These are allegations that have been leveled by Pawan Khera. In response to that, Bharatiya Janata Party had stated that as far as they remember, it was the Congress party first. Ajay Makhan did a first press conference against Arvind Kejriwal and exposed the liquor scam. So are they happy with the kind of order that have come from the court, or they are angry with such an order?
All right, thanks for joining me there on that developing story. We have more news coming in. All right, this is something we were expecting. We have Sasikala, who has now commented on OPS jumping ship to the DMK. She has slammed OPS for this move. Sasikala has said OPS's decision is extremely unfortunate. Grave mistake by OPS here by jumping ship. DMK is not a mother party. So that's Sasikala speaking out on that big move made by OPS this morning. Sam Daniel joining me on the phone line here. Sam, we were expecting Sasikala to come out and make a statement that I've just read out to our viewers. Sam, can you hear me? All right, there seems to be an audio problem there with Sam's line. We'll try and reconnect with him. But Sasikala hitting out at OPS. She's saying DMK is not a mother party. The interesting bit is, just 3 days ago, after paying homage to former Chief Minister J. Lalita on her birth anniversary, the ousted AIADMK coordinator OPS had declared that he would not join any political party or launch one. Now, cut to this morning, he has crossed over to rival DMK and he has said that he will ensure that EPS and his party goes down in the upcoming election. Staying with the story, three-time Chief Minister and expelled AIADMK leader O. Paneerselvam has officially joined the DMK today, marking a massive twist in the Tamil Nadu elections and the road leading up to it. Now, OPS joined the rival party in the presence of Chief Minister M.K. Stalin at the DMK headquarters. Speaking on the transition, OPS hailed Stalin, saying Chief Minister and DMK would protect Dravidian ideology. Slamming AIADMK chief EPS, OPS said that the leader would be responsible for his party's fall. Chief Minister Stalin reacted to the transition and welcomed OPS, saying that democratic forces were increasingly joining the alliance. Slamming the move, BJP hit out, saying that the move wouldn't be accepted by the people of Tamil Nadu and would have no impact on the upcoming polls. Now, this is important and this is something you must understand. NDTV has access exclusive information on this transition. What led to OPS getting and moving to the DMK camp? Well, what we believe and what sources are telling us in terms of the inside track is this. There were many failed attempts to enter the NDA. Despite EPS shutting AIADMK doors for OPS, OPS, we believe, was adamant on entering the alliance via only the AIADMK. Now, to pacify, the BJP even offered him an independent seat. With the NDA option effectively closed, back-channel talks with DMK gathered pace. As per sources in the DMK, OPS will now be given one seat.
Very much for your time, sir. What brought you to DMK? உங்களுக்கு டிஎம்கேக்கு என்ன வரவழைச்சிச்சு?
தளபதி அவருடைய அரசியல் நடவடிக்கைகள் அனைத்து மக்களையும் அனைத்து கட்சிகளையும் அரவணைத்து செல்கின்ற பாங்கு, அதே போல் ஆட்சியில் அனைத்து தரப்பினையும் மத வித்தியாசங்கள் இல்லாமல் ஜாதி வித்தியாசங்கள் இல்லாமல் அவர் வழிநடத்தி செல்கின்ற ஆட்சி ஒரு சிறப்பான ஆட்சியாக இன்றைக்கு பேரெடுத்திருக்கின்ற தமிழக மக்கள் அனைவரும் மீண்டும் மாண்புமிகு முதலமைச்சர் திரு ஸ்டாலின் அவர்களே திரும்பவும் வர வேண்டும் என்று மக்கள் எண்ணத்தில்.
உங்களுடைய நோக்கம் வந்து டிஎம்கே வெற்றி பெறணுங்கிறதா இல்லை இபிஎஸ் தோக்கணுங்கிறதா? உங்களுடைய நோக்கம் டிஎம்கே வெற்றி பெறணுங்கிறதா இல்லை இபிஎஸ் தோக்கணும்?
கழகம் மகத்தான வெற்றி பெற வேண்டும் என்ற நோக்கம் ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்காகவே அவர் தோல்வி கண்டு.
இனிமேட்டு ஏடிஎம்கே மீட்க முடியாதுங்கிற அந்த நிலைமை வந்துருச்சு. அப்போ ஏடிஎம்கேவை நீங்கள் மீட்க முடியாதுங்கிற நிலைமை வந்துருச்சு.
அவர் பொதுச்செயலாளராக பொறுப்பேற்றிருந்து அனைத்து நிலைகளிலும் அவர் தலைமையேற்று நடத்திய தேர்தல் அத்திலுமே அவர் தோல்வியை கண்டிருக்கிறார்.
கடைசியாக உங்களுடைய வருகையினால தென் மாவட்டங்களில் தேவர் சமுதாய ஓட்டு முழுசாக இப்போ டிஎம்கேக்கு வருமா?
அதாவது பொதுவாக சொல்கிறேன், அனைத்து தரப்பட்ட மக்களும் இன்றைக்கு மாண்புமிகு முதலமைச்சர் அவர்களை விரும்புகிறார்கள். அவர் சிறப்பான ஆட்சியை வழிநடத்தி சென்று கொண்டிருக்கிற நிலை இன்னைக்கு தமிழக.
கடைசி கேள்வி, நீங்கள் போட்டியிடுவீங்களா? நீங்கள் போட்டியிடுவீங்களா தேர்தல்?
மாண்புமிகு முதலமைச்சர் அவர்கள் திராவிட முன்னேற்ற கழகத்துடைய தலைமை பொறுப்பில் இருக்கின்ற அவர் திரு ஸ்டாலின் அவர்கள் விரும்பினால், அவர் அனுமதித்தால் நான் போட்டியிடுவேன்.
Thank you very much, sir.
What is the role of OPS in DMK right now, sir?
He will work for the victory of DMK now.
Any particular positions?
No, that it is for the.
OPS bring to DMK?
He had brought many senior leaders from ADMK. They have all joined together, and they will work for DMK.
The community you are trying?
No. It is not a question of community. He was a senior leader of the ADMK. He did not get any respect in that party. He had joined us,
sir,
as a political.
OPS being a biggest critic of DMK, DMK.
See, I'll tell you, many people were critical about DMK when they are in their opposition parties. We had a fight when we were before 1967. Our fight was against Congress only. Then subsequently, Congress is with us now. So politically, there should be some kind of common agenda. That's all.
What is
now
the common agenda?
The common agenda is to throw out BJP from the state.
Yes, we have been saying that the like-minded parties which want to throw away DMK from the rule, they should join NDA, and Mr. O. Pannisalvam has been our friend for a long time, very long time, so maybe 8 or 10 years. So definitely we feel that Mr. O. Pannisalvam, the former Chief Minister, should come to the NDA, and since he has been there with AIDMK for a very long time, the people will not definitely like him to go with other parties or any other alliance. So we welcome if he comes.
No, this is what we've been saying for long. If it is AIDMK, it is one under the leadership of EPS. And people who had left the party are individuals. They are not factions. And now the traitor has proved himself. He literally did all anti-party activities. He vandalized our party headquarters, which is regarded as a temple. And for us, DMK is an evil force. That's what our founder termed it. And our Amma lived by those words. And even our leader EPS lived by those words. And this traitor joined hand in gloves with them, took instructions from them while working inside AIADMK. He is a disgrace in public life. DMK should hang his head in shame. They tried all the means and ways to split this party.
Moving on, President Draupadi Murmu has taken a sortie as co-pilot in light combat helicopter Prachand near the India-Pakistan border in Jaisalmer district of Rajasthan. Now, the LCH took off from the Jaisalmer Indian Air Force Station. Before the sortie, the captain briefed the president. Dressed in an olive green uniform and helmet, she waved from the cockpit before departing. LCH Prachand is India's first indigenously designed and developed combat helicopter built by Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, HAL.
तो आपने सुना देश के राष्ट्रपति द्रौपदी मुर्मू का ये संदेश रेडियो से।
On that note, we're taking a short break. I'll be back with top international news. The big Pakistan-Afghanistan conflict. Coming up live will be Michael Kugelman, Director, South Asia Institute, the Wilson Center, who will decode this for us. Is this now an open war? Is the big question.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's leading AI smartphone brand. Motorola Signature, India's #1 camera phone. Grab Motorola Signature today.
Front lines of Kargil, the fury of Operation Sindhu,
So many attacks.
the chaos and cries of disaster zones, to fighter jet cockpits, and the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break, live, unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right, and Center.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area. North Ukraine. In France, in Italy. At Srinagar. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
इनको यहाँ से जाना ही होगा।
जय मां दुर्गा। और क्यों रोए?
There is no bigger battle in 2026. And nobody has reported Bengal like I have. Buckle up for an unforgettable election thriller. Will the BJP breach Mamta's fortress?
TMC जावे, BJP आसपे।
Can Didi fight off her life's biggest challenge?
बीजेपी डबल इंजिन सरकार এই লড়াই বাঁচতে হবে।
Battleground Bengal with Manogya Loiwal.
After the roaring success in Delhi, Hyderabad and Mumbai, the NDTV DP World PGTI Golf Pro-Am now travels to Ahmedabad. India's finest professionals, the city's most accomplished business leaders. Great golf, great company. NDTV DP World PGTI Golf Pro-Am. The course of champions, the conversation of leaders. 8th March, Kalhar Blues and Greens, Ahmedabad.
First India tour in your city. Rock on with Shankar Ehsan Loy and Siddharth Mahadevan and Shivam Mahadevan. 5 times melody, 5 times masti with NDTV Good Times. Go, grab your tickets.
Straight from the heart of the newsroom to the core of the stories shaping your world. Join me, Gargi Rawat, as I track all the developments as they break. Live from the NDTV newsroom, weekdays at 4 p.m.
Across the country.
He has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones, brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Raj Call, covering international affairs like no one else, only on NDTV network.
From 1983 to now, I have seen cricket evolve, but the mindset to win never changed. I tell you that what win matches and what doesn't. This T20 World Cup, let's talk cricket, controversies and more on NDTV.
Alright team, our new order show is ready. Now we need a promo. Something cool, something sharp.
Well, I'm sure we'll be having outstanding reviews, solid suggestions,
Expert advice. The latest trends. It's a lot simpler. We'll help people make the right auto decisions. It's got the cool stuff, geeky stuff, serious stuff, all of it, so that you can discover, decide and drive. I'm Siddharth Sharma and I am your Automate.
What seems settled for me is unfinished business. So I rewind. I pause. I reflect. I dig until what's buried stands up to be counted. Breaking ground, not just headlines, the meaning behind them. This is Breaking Ground with me, Vedika Sood.
Sound check हो गया? Visuals ready?
Welcome back. A quick check on the top international headlines in our special segment, World View. Big escalation in Afghanistan-Pakistan standoff. Revenge strikes rock the border. The big Anthropic Pentagon showdown. Anthropic rejects DoD's demand to drop AI safeguards. Major fintech company Block slashes 4,000 jobs. Tensions between neighbors Afghanistan and Pakistan have now peaked after the Afghan Taliban launched an operation against military positions along the shared border late Thursday. Islamabad has declared open war on Afghan Taliban government following renewed clashes along the shared border between the two countries. Pakistan has launched Operation Ghazib-Lihaq against Afghanistan, targeting several military installations in cities like Kabul, Paktia and Kandahar. The escalation came after Pakistan bombed Afghanistan's Kabul and Kandahar on Friday, hours after Afghan forces attacked Pakistani border troops in what the Taliban government said was retaliation for deadly airstrikes earlier this week. Both sides say they have inflicted casualties during the clashes. Residents in Pakistan's border said they heard explosions and were advised to move to safer locations. The Afghan Taliban said the large-scale operation was carried out in response to strikes earlier in the week that it claimed killed at least 18 people. Islamabad said those strikes targeted suspected militant camps and hideouts.
پاکستاني ځواکونو له لورې په ننګرهار او پکتیا ولایتونو کې د هوایي بریدونو د غچ اخیستنې په موخه باندې همدا شیبه د جمعې شپه 8 بجې دي په شرقي زون کې د 201 خالد بن ولید رضی الله تعالی عنه قل اردو سرحدي او پیاده ځواکونو له طرف نه په ننګرهار او کونړ ولایتونو کې فردي کرښې ته څیرمه د پاکستاني ملیشو په پوستو باندې درنه غزا پیل شوه.
Now, as Pakistan and Afghanistan trade artillery airstrikes and accusations of mounting casualties, the question is no longer whether tensions are rising, but whether this has crossed into sustained military confrontation. The Durand Line is no longer just a disputed border. It is an active flashpoint. Joining me now is Michael Kugelman, Director of the South Asia Institute at the Wilson Center, one of the most closely watched voices on regional security and Pakistan-Afghanistan relations. Michael, thank you for joining me here on Breaking Ground. It's good to have you with us.
Thank you. Good to be back with you.
Michael, my first question to you, have we crossed the threshold from episodic border clashes into something more sustained and dangerous when it comes to this conflict?
I fear that we have, for several reasons. One is that Pakistan appears to have expanded its targeting and its strikes beyond what it describes as terrorist facilities, mainly Pakistani Taliban, to the Afghan Taliban itself. I mean, Pakistan has said that it has targeted the Afghan Taliban military facilities. So that right there is a significant escalation. Also, we've seen the Taliban vow in recent hours to carry out sustained operations against the Pakistani security forces along the border. Previously, we had the Taliban stage periodic but relatively brief retaliatory attacks on the border following Pakistani airstrikes. So, the targeting and the intensity of the attacks on both sides appears to have gotten larger and more significant, broader. And that's concerning, though quite frankly, not surprising, because, we could talk about it, but I'd argue that the core drivers of these tensions has not gone away, and it was only a matter of time before this flashpoint exploded into something resembling an actual conflict.
Michael, what in your assessment then triggered this sharp escalation? Was this inevitable after the Taliban takeover about 5 years back?
Yeah, I mean, what we've seen since the Taliban came back to power is an increase in terrorist attacks in Pakistan carried out from Afghanistan. And, I have to say that the Pakistani state, particularly the Pakistani establishment, really overestimated its capacity to convince the Taliban, of course, its longtime assets, to curb these forces on Afghan soil that have posed a threat to Pakistan, mainly Tehrik-i-Taliban Pakistan, or TTP. But I think what the establishment either didn't realize or didn't care to acknowledge is that, with the war wrapping up in Afghanistan, the Taliban no longer needed to go out of its way to help Pakistan. Pakistan lost the leverage that it had enjoyed over the Taliban when it provided sponsorship to the Taliban during the war. So as a result, the Taliban, which has long had close ties to the TTP, was unwilling to curb it, was unwilling to expel it for a number of reasons. In that sense, and this is what I would describe as the core driver of these current tensions, Pakistan's contention that the Taliban have not been willing to curb the group that's posing this growing threat inside Pakistan. And diplomatic steps have not worked. There were several rounds of talks between Pakistan and the Taliban, brokered by the Saudis and the Turks, among others. Those didn't work. There was an agreement to maintain a ceasefire, but clearly the ceasefire is done now. And meanwhile, the attacks have continued in Pakistan. And I think that what we saw back on Sunday is that Pakistan concluded that enough was enough and that it was going to carry out more strikes, which it did. And according to the Afghan side, civilians were hit and were killed. And I think the Taliban concluded that it could no longer stand by. And, it needed to show strength against these strikes that were coming in. So, we've had these periodic cycles of clashes, but I do think that it was inevitable that they would explode into something much more concerning and much more dangerous as what we have now.
Pakistan says it's responding to militant sanctuaries. Kabul says it's defending sovereignty. Who holds the stronger strategic position as of now, Michael?
Well, I mean, I'd argue that, and when you talk about a strategic position, Pakistan does have an edge, right, in the sense that it has a much larger and potent military than does the Taliban, which is, at the end of the day, an insurgent group. Pakistan has a significant, a powerful military vis-a-vis the Taliban. But at the same time, I'd argue that the Taliban has a number of things that advantage it in a big way. One is that the Taliban commands the loyalty of large numbers of militants, not just TTP, but other militants and radicals inside Afghanistan, from Al-Qaeda forces to others. And so that suggests to me that if things really start to escalate, the Taliban could conceivably broaden its range of responses beyond these attacks on Pakistani border troops to include essentially tasking militants with carrying out attacks, entering Pakistan and carrying out attacks in the country, and not just along the border, but beyond that. I mean, you'll remember back in November, there was an attack at the Islamabad courthouse, which had been claimed by a faction of the TTP, Jamaat ul-Ahrar. Later renounced that claim and later denied it, but I think that's just because the TTP officially doesn't target civilian targets. So bottom line is that the Taliban has things it can do. It has asymmetric tactics that it can bring to the table, even though the Pakistani side has a much greater advantage on the in terms of conventional force. Certainly, Pakistan does have the advantage of turning to the international community to try to encourage the two sides to come back to the negotiating table, and I imagine the Taliban would be open to that as well. But at the end of the day, I think both sides are in a lot of trouble because each side faces significant threats from the other in terms of how kinetic activities could play out.
All right, so let's just understand this bit then. Is the TTP issue the core driver here, Michael, or has this conflict now evolved beyond militancy into state-to-state confrontation then?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot at play here. I mean, I think that the proximate core driver of the tensions is the TTP issue. But let's not forget that the border issue looms large as well, right? I mean, Afghanistan has never recognized the Durand lines. Ever since Pakistan became a state in 1947, no Afghan government, including the current Taliban regime, have accepted the border. And that fact, I think, has really been a big reason for the enduring levels of mistrust between Afghans and Pakistanis. And I would say that that's an issue that makes it even more difficult for the two sides to figure out a way to step back from the brink, because you have these entrenched levels of mistrust rooted in the border issue. So that's something as well. But indeed, as you suggest, as Pakistan appears to have now targeted Afghan Taliban facilities and not just TTP facilities, that means that this could escalate to the level where you have to worry about a state-on-state conflict. Again, I can't emphasize enough a major escalation for Pakistan to expand its targeting beyond militant targets to the Taliban regime itself.
Front lines of Kargil, the fury of Operation Sindhu,
so many attacks,
the chaos and cries of disaster zones, to fighter jet cockpits, and the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break, live, unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right, and Center.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area. North Ukraine. In France, in Italy. At Srinagar. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
इनको यहाँ से जाना ही होगा।
जय मां दुर्गा!
There is no bigger battle in 2026.
What seems settled for me is unfinished business. So I rewind. I pause. I reflect. I dig. Until what's buried stands up to be counted. Breaking ground, not just headlines, the meaning behind them. This is Breaking Ground with me, Vedika Sood.
Sound check हो गया? Visuals ready? Lights okay? Everything is ready? Wait, are you ready? ये सिर्फ एक कॉन्सर्ट नहीं है. This is my life. This is my story. One night, no repeats. Book your tickets now.
The front lines of Kargil. The fury of Operation Sindhu.
So many attacks.
The chaos and cries of disaster zones. To fighter jet cockpits. And the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break. Live. Unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right and Center.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area. North Ukraine. In France. In Italy. At Srinagar. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
इनको यहाँ से जाना ही होगा.
जय मां दुर्गा.
There is no bigger battle in 2026. And nobody has reported Bengal like I have. Buckle up for an unforgettable election thriller. Will the BJP breach Mamta's fortress?
TMC जावे, BJP आसपे.
Can Didi fight off her life's biggest challenge?
বিজেপি ডাবল ইঞ্জিন সরকার এই লড়াই বাঁচতে হবে.
Battleground Bengal with Manogya Loiwal.
After the roaring success in Delhi, Hyderabad and Mumbai, the NDTV DP World PGTI Golf Pro-Am now travels to Ahmedabad. India's finest professionals, the city's most accomplished business leaders. Great golf, great company. NDTV DP World PGTI Golf Pro-Am. The course of champions, the conversation of leaders. 8th March, Kalhar Blues and Greens, Ahmedabad.
First India tour in your city. Rag on with Shankar Ehsan Loy and Siddharth Mahadevan and Shivam Mahadevan. 5 times melody, 5 times masti with NDTV Good Times. Go, grab your tickets.
Straight from the heart of the newsroom to the core of the stories shaping your world. Join me, Gargi Raut, as I track all the developments as they break. Live from the NDTV newsroom, weekdays at 4 p.m.
Across the country.
He has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Raj Kaul, covering international affairs like no one else, only on NDTV network.
From 1983 to now, I have seen cricket evolve, but the mindset to win never changed. I tell you that what win matches and what doesn't. This T20 World Cup, let's talk cricket, controversies and more on NDTV.
Alright team, our new auto show is ready. Now we need a promo. Something cool, something sharp.
Well, I'm sure we'll be having outstanding reviews, solid suggestions,
Expert advice. The latest trends. It's a lot simpler. We'll help people make the right auto decisions. It's got the cool stuff, geeky stuff, serious stuff, all of it, so that you can discover, decide and drive. I'm Siddharth Sharma and I am your Automate.
What seems settled for me is unfinished business. So I rewind. I pause. I reflect. I dig until what's buried stands up to be counted. Breaking ground, not just headlines, the meaning behind them. This is Breaking Ground with me, Vedika Sood.
Sound check हो गया? Visuals ready? Lights okay? Everything is ready? Wait, are you ready? ये सिर्फ एक कॉन्सर्ट नहीं है. This is my life. This is my story. One night, no repeats. Book your tickets now.
The front lines of Kargil.
To replace the Gloucester from the house of MG and is trying to compete with the Toyota Fortuner, a king in its segment. But is it good enough? Anirban Mitra recently got a chance to check this new Majesta from up close and personal, check out its off-roading capabilities and tells you whether it's worth it or not.
JSW MG once again shows confidence in a segment where numbers are small but cars massive in size. Meet the Majesta. Essentially a facelift to the Gloucester, this D-segment SUV goes on sale in April. Mechanically, things largely remain the same. A 2-litre twin-turbo diesel engine produces 215 horsepower. It is mated to an 8-speed torque converter and this is a proper 4x4 machine, which means it is built on ladder-on frame chassis, handsome amount of ground clearance, water wading and also a whole host of electronics with transfer case and differentials to give you that opportunity to go anywhere you feel like. It's a big, muscular SUV. Over 5 meters in length, it is tallest and widest in the segment. It commands attention and space on the road equally. What's new are the grille, LED lights and 19-inch alloy wheels. In a word, Majesta is for those who are looking for a big and brawny SUV. Fortuner is plain Jane, but Majesta is not. It's modern, comes with a host of connected features and feel-good factors. New infotainment screen, the driver's digital display is also reworked. The central tunnel gets more features than before. You have ambient lighting, you have a 3-zone climate control, wireless charging. The stereo system feels nice, they are from JBL. Panoramic sunroof, you have 6-seaters, 7-seater option, and this feels more spacious. Especially if you are one of those who want third row to be fully utilized, this one provides more space than the Toyota. Features aside, the touch and feel are a bit plasticky and do not appear as durable as the Fortuner. 300 odd liters of cargo volume can be extended to humongous 1500 liters by folding down the third row. Toyota Fortuner is segment's top dog thanks to